What's up, fight fans? Welcome to the SB Nation MMA live results play-by-play stream for UFC 225. This video is brought to you by BloodyElbow.com and MMAmania.com. My name is Flying Brian J. Thank you so much for joining me. The purpose of this stream is to give you guys the best damn play-by-play I can possibly muster during the main card portion of UFC 235, which is headlined by Johnny Bones Jones versus Anthony Lionheart Smith for the light heavyweight championship of the world. In the co-main event, we've got Tyron, the chosen one, Woodley, putting his belt on the line against Kamaru Marty, the Nigerian nightmare Usman, for the welterweight strap. We've also got Cody Garbrandt versus Pedro the Young Punisher Munoz. We've also got the UFC debut of Funky. I said 225? Gosh. Well, anyway, guys, I'm going to redo my intro. Thank you for being here. I got to redo the intro anyway. I got to send a ping out to my boss that says we are live, so I'll redo the intro. Thank you for the correction. Red Hood Gaming 12. Hola, Uncle Hank. All right, I got to put this bitch over here, put that bitch over there. And I think we're doing fine. Okay. All right, let me set a couple of things up. Let me just tell you that the fights have not started yet. We are watching a hype video for Cody No Love Garbrandt, the former bantamweight champion, against Pedro the Young Punisher Munoz. The fights start in a few seconds. Matt Michelli. Okay, my boss snoozed his alarm. But we are live. Okay. We're going to redo the introduction right now. No. Nate K. It's not the prelims. We're on the main card portion. Pedro the Young Punisher Munoz is making his way to the cage right now. Huh. Yeah. Okay, we're going to redo the intro, so let's do that right now. Whoops. What's up, fight fans? Welcome to the UFC 235 live results play-by-play stream brought to you by SB Nation MMA, which includes BloodyElbow.com and MMAmania.com. My name is Flying Brian J. Thank you so much for being here. What I'm going to be doing for the next 3 hours or so is giving you the best damn play-by-play that I can muster for the main card portion hidden behind a paywall for UFC 235, which is headlined by Johnny Bones Jones versus Anthony Lionheart Smith for the light heavyweight championship of the world. In the co-main event, we've got Tyron, the chosen one, Woodley, putting his welterweight strap on the line against Kamaru Marty from Nebraska, the Nigerian nightmare Usman. We've also got the UFC debut of Ben Askren. He fights ruthless Robbie Lawler. We got Tisha the Tiny Tornado Torres versus Whaley Zhuang. That's probably the low point of the main card, I'm just being honest with you. And live in just a few moments here, we've got Pedro the Young Punisher Munoz fighting out of the blue corner against the former bantamweight champion of the world, Cody No Love Garbrandt. I'll show you what I got set up for a stream here. This is what you're going to look at during the majority of me talking. We got nothing in the middle right now. That's kind of disappointing. But let's get that fixed up. Okay, here's what we're going to do. We got to take this to there. We're going to go to this, and we're going to go to UFC.com. I'm going to show you some images in that black spot during the fights. We're fucking... I got something connected. UFC.com is real slow and shitty. So we're going to look at some pictures from the fights. Properties. Not that one. the fuck's it at? Dropbox. Boop. There we go. So we're going to look at some images while the fights happen. What we just watched was Zabit Magomedsharipov defeat Jeremy Little Heathen Stevens. These pictures are going to be, they're all by Esther Lynn at All Elbows on every social media platform, so you can find those, and she's really good. A really, really good photographer. We're going to look at some of that. And if UFC.com shows up for us, UFC.com is a fucking joke. But here we go. Man, UFC.com fucking sucks. All right, we're about to get the tail of the tape and the Bruce Buffer introductions for Cody No Love Garbrandt versus Pedro the Young Punisher Munoz. Let me bring up that image. Ceremonial weigh-ins. Ladies and gentlemen, we are live. Bruce Buffer has the microphone, and we are about to watch this fight right here. Again, all the images that I'm going to be putting in here, the stills, are, or most of them at least, are by Esther Lynn from MMAfighting.com. Follow her on every social media platform at All Elbows. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, a mixed martial artist with a professional record of 17 wins, 3 losses, and 1 no contest. He stands 5 feet 6 inches tall, weighing in at 136 pounds, fighting out of Sao Paulo, Brazil. He is a plus 125 underdog with a really nasty guillotine choke. Pedro, the Young Punisher Munoz. Turn my mic down a little bit. Man, my wedding ring was stuck. Fighting out of the red corner, a boxer with a professional record of 11 wins, 2 losses, standing 5 feet 8 inches tall, weighing in at 136 pounds, fighting out of Sacramento, California, and coming in as a minus 145 favorite with a lot of knockout power. He's the former UFC Bantamweight Champion of the world, Cody No Love Garbrandt. Yes. Who you guys got? Who you picking? Stevens won that shit. We all know he did, says Bailey Carpenter. Our referee in charge is Mark Goddard. Hey, please give the video a thumbs up if you haven't already. Ariane Celeste is our ring girl. She blows us a kiss, and that means we're about to get it on. All right. I'm going to do my best play-by-play for you all. And we're off. They meet in the center of the cage. Both guys are in an orthodox stance. Pedro is in black board shorts with slits up the side a little bit. Cody No Love has like kind of tight wrestling trunks on. They are gray. Of course, Cody's really tatted up. Cody moved forward with an outside low kick. Pedro caught it, and he goes to the ground. He's working on a heel hook. Nope. Cody gets off of it. Gets back to the feet. We're back in the center of the cage. Pedro's circling to his left. He's got ankle wraps on. Pedro's holding his hands kind of like this. We are smack dab in the center of the octagon, right on top of the MMA Mania logo. Cody with a roundhouse to the body. It was kind of a switch kick to the body, kind of blocked by Pedro. Garbrandt shifting with his shoulders, moves one direction, comes back. Still in the center of the octagon. Cody tries the left high kick. Didn't have the range on it. Pedro's the one moving forward. I'm going to use their first names. We've got Cody and Pedro in there. Cody with a 1-2. Didn't land. Outside low kick missed by Cody. Outside low kick barely landed for Pedro. I'll use their last names. Garbrandt and Munoz. All right. Munoz has the center of the octagon. He goes with the front kick to the body. Kind of landed. Garbrandt caught it for a second. No dice. Munoz just went with a high round kick to the right, and Cody backed away from it just like he did to Dominic Cruz when he got the belt a while back. Cody with a push kick. No dice. Didn't have the range on it. Garbrandt. Yeah. Outside low kick lands for Munoz. on the lead leg of Garbrandt. Garbrandt with a step, and then kind of a Superman punch. Didn't land on Munoz. Outside low kick lands for Munoz. Lead left hook and a straight down the middle lands for Garbrandt, but not a lot of power on it. Garbrandt comes in kind of swinging wide. He eats a right hand from Munoz. He fires back his own right hand. I landed a little bit on Munoz, nothing of any substance. Outside low kicks lands for Munoz. Smack dab in the center of the cage right now. My stream quality is really low. I don't know what the hell's going on. What the fuck is going on? Flurry of punches miss from Garbrandt on Munoz. Munoz goes with an outside low kick. Garbrandt backs away from it. A long jab attempted by Munoz, but Garbrandt backed away from it. Right now, neither guy really has the momentum. You know, you get the sense that Cody is in control a little bit because, I don't know, he's the former champion. I think he has more power in his hands than Munoz does. But Munoz could knock Garbrandt out. I think that Garbrandt doesn't have the best chin. He's been knocked out twice in a row by TJ Dillashaw. Munoz just landed an outside low kick, low calf kick, as Joe Rogan just said, on Cody Garbrandt. Garbrandt's on the outside of the double stripes around the outside of the octagon, and he's moving to his right. Spinning back kick to the body, miss from Munoz. An outside, a wide right hand barely hit Garbrandt, and then there was a flurry of punches from Munoz that looked like they had a lot of power behind him, but Garbrandt was able to use a lot of head movement, evade them, and then circle away from the cage. And we're back in the center of the octagon now. All right, center of the cage. Left high kick miss from Garbrandt. Right outside low kick miss from Munoz. Munoz is walking forward. He goes for... Ooh! Munoz walked forward, threw a right high kick on Garbrandt. Kind of landed, then a left hook behind it. Dropped Cody Garbrandt. And now the young Punisher, Pedro Munoz, is on top of Cody Garbrandt on the ground in half guard. So it was a right high kick, kind of a round high kick that Garbrandt... Like, he evaded a little bit, but it did connect. And a left hook behind it that dropped Cody Garbrandt from Pedro Munoz. Garbrandt gets back to his feet. He lands a jumping knee. And then a right hand that hurt Pedro Munoz. And Munoz is now these guys are rock'em sock'em in the center of the octagon right now. Garbrandt has Pedro Munoz on his heels, and he's just swinging wide. You know, right hook, left hook, right hook, left hook, right hook, left hook. Jumping knee to the face, right hook to the face. Goes for a plum clinch and eats a right hand to his own head. A left hook lands on the chin. A right hand lands from Pedro Munoz on Cody Garbrandt, and it is over. After a bit of rock'em sock'em robots, like in a phone booth fighting real tight together, they hurt each other. First, it was Pedro Munoz that dropped Cody Garbrandt. Then it was Cody Garbrandt that dropped Pedro Munoz with the right hand. And they just get in tight and are swinging wildly. And another right hand from Munoz dropped Cody Garbrandt, and he ended the fight with a couple of hammer fists. And Pedro Munoz jumped out of the cage now. I'll slow down my speech. After the finish, Pedro Munoz jumped out of the cage, shook Dominic Cruz's hand, and I think he was probably asking him for a fight. Joe Rogan is talking right now about the poor decision-making of Cody Garbrandt to get in tight in that phone booth and be willing to swing haymakers. Woo, okay. Dominic Cruz is saying that both these guys took shots. When you're sitting in the middle training like that, it's pure luck. So a big right hand. Cody Garbrandt was winging his own kind of shovel hook. It was more a hook on the outside, but it had a little bit of an upward trajectory to it. And as he did that, Munoz did the same exact thing, but it was Munoz's that hit first. And as he hit him, he ducked his head underneath. Garbrandt crumbled down, and it was elementary after that. Some hammer fist, boom. Bam. What a fall from grace Cody Garbrandt is currently experiencing, right? He was the champion. He styled all over Dominic Cruz. Then he loses twice via He gets finished with strikes twice in a row to TJ Dillashaw. And then here today in the very first round gets finished by Pedro the Young Punisher Munoz. I got to get the results in here. Okay, here we're going to go with the official decision. The winner by knockout, Pedro the Young Punisher Munoz. Joe Rogan says, what a wild fight for as long as it lasted. Joe Rogan says, tell us the game plan coming in. And Pedro says, that was it. And Joe says, wild exchanges. And he said, yep. He says, everyone thinks that I'm a grappler. That's what I came from. But I have been training with a lot of boxers, the best boxers in the world. And that's the kind of fight that I like. I like to bring it. I'm always looking for the knockouts and submissions. This is Joe Rogan now. That was Pedro Munoz. You hurt him with some wild and crazy exchanges, but at the end of the fight, you guys just stood right in front of each other and wound up with giant power shots, and yours landed first. Now this is Pedro answering. Yeah. Now, so, did you guys... He says, I want to ask the arena, did you guys like that? Pedro says, in some of the interviews that I had with Dominic this week, he said, I've never even been dropped in training. He said, so I knew I could take more. And he said, I told Cruz that it was the right hook would be the one to knock him out. Pedro says that he was not surprised that Cody Garbrandt wanted to exchange with him like that. He says he knows that Cody Garbrandt is an emotional fighter. And, you know, that's the best opportunity. He says, I want to fight for the title. To knock out a former champion like that in the first round certainly puts a stamp on your career and makes you're definitely in line for one of the top contenders or a shot at the title soon. This is Joe Rogan. Give us your thoughts on the rest of the division. There's a lot of amazing fighters there. I just knocked out the former champion in the first round, the number 2. He says, I believe I'm the next one for the title shot. Joe Rogan says, congratulations on a spectacular performance. Ooh. Wow. My cousin just texted me, had asked who we should bet on tonight, and I'm saying you should parlay #and still. So yeah, I think that you should parlay Tyron the Chosen One Woodley and Johnny Bones Jones. And we can talk about that some more. But wow, what a performance by Pedro the Young Punisher Munoz. Let's look up, let's engage in a little bit of, can look at the rankings. Okay, the rankings for the Bantamweight division. Let's move this over here so you can see this. Okay, here are the Bantamweight rankings. Of course, we got the champion, TJ Dillashaw, who just got knocked out by Henry Cejudo in a flyweight fight. But above Pedro Munoz, you've got Petr Yan, who just defeated John Dodson. You got John Lineker, Jimmy Rivera, who just lost to Aljamain Sterling. And, of course, you got Aljamain Sterling at number 5. Dominic Cruz, if he's ever healthy enough to fight. Rafael Assunção. Of course, Pedro just defeated Cody Garbrandt. for the number 2 spot. And Rafael Assunção was still number 3, even though he got knocked out by Marlon Moraes. You know, so I don't think that Pedro's going to get a title shot. I would like, honestly, Pedro versus Aljamain Sterling next, I think, is what you do. I think that's just what makes sense. Marlon Moraes has to be the next one for a title shot. I mean, he fucking crushed Jimmy Rivera. Fucking crushed Aljamain Sterling. Goddamn crushed Rafael Assunção. The dude's next for a title shot. Except for, I think they're probably going to do Henry Cejudo versus TJ Dillashaw again, perhaps at bantamweight. But I think, sure, very impressive performance from Pedro Munoz. Very low fight IQ for Cody Garbrandt. And yeah, we can expect big things from Munoz, or like a big fight from Munoz next, but a title shot I just don't think is in his repertoire. Okay, let's look at what we've got up next. The next fight we've got is It is Tisha the Tiny Tornado Torres versus Whaley Zhuang. Of course, this picture in the middle here is taken by Esther Lin from MMAfighting.com. You can follow her on social media at All Elbows. So that fight is up next. Let's check out, let's look at the odds for this fight. The odds have Tisha Torres as the underdog at plus 110. Whaley Zhuang is minus 120, which I find kind of surprising. I mean, Tisha Torres has only lost to Joanna Jacek and Jessica Andrade, both via decision lately. I mean, she's got wins over, well, Michelle Watterson is her biggest win, Angela Hill, and Whaley Zhuang doesn't even have a Wikipedia page. So, okay, here we go. Finally fucking, oh, great. Man, the UFC fucking website is garbage. Man, the fucking, I'm blown away by it. Look at this. Okay, can you see this? This is what you get when you go to the UFC.com event page for UFC 235. This is what you get. What the fuck is that? That's abysmal. That's embarrassing. Okay, we're enduring. We're talking to Forrest Griffin and Rashad Evans right now about who's going to win the main event. I gotta get the results. God damn it, where's it at? Okay. Browse. God. Okay. There we go. We just watched Pedro Munoz knock out Cody Garbrandt in the first round. And next up is Tisha, the Tiny Tornado Torres, fighting Whaley Zhuang. And we're going to watch a hype video for that. So while we do that, let's talk about who you guys are picking to win the main event of the evening. Let me take one of these headphones off and turn the volume down. Okay. Moto Matt says Zabit, did he win his match? Zabit defeated Jeremy Little Heathen Stevens via unanimous decision, I believe. 29-28 across the board. Yes. Before that, Johnny Walker knocked out Misha Serkunov with almost the first strike that he threw. Maybe the first strike that he threw. Flying knee and punches at 36 seconds of round number 1. Johnny Walker there's no way this man isn't going to be a huge fucking favorite in his next fight. He closed at minus 175 tonight. Opened at minus 215. He was as low as minus 120 at a point was Johnny Walker. He's now got 3 wins in the UFC. I think maybe one of them went to the second round. Let me check. No, 3 first-round finishes. The first one was in 1:57. Maybe that's why I thought it went to the second round, because it was in over a minute, because his next fight was 15-second knockout of Justin Ledette, and then this one, 36 seconds into the first round. The dude has 3 fights in the UFC, and total time of less than a round. He had a more difficult time on Dana White's Tuesday Night Contender Series in Brazil with Henrique da Silva. My goodness. Okay, before that, we had Cody Stamann defeat Alejandro Perez, unanimous decision. Diego Sanchez TKO'd Mickey Gall in the second round. Mickey Gall came out firing, throwing a lot of wide looping punches that caught Diego Sanchez's guard quite a bit, and he was just moving forward a lot. Diego was able to get underneath the strikes, grab a clinch, get Mickey Gall to the fence, get him to the ground, and then kind of work him over from there. That was the end of the first round. The second round was well on its way to being a 10-8 because Diego did the same thing, got him to the ground, passed him out, was raining down fucking ground and pound with elbows on Mickey Gall's face, and prior to that, some really good elbows to the body as well. Mickey Gall had called out Diego Sanchez after he got a win at Lincoln last year. I didn't think he'd get the fight. He got the fight, and he paid for it because Diego Sanchez whooped the shit out of Mickey Gall. Right now, we've got Whaley Zhuang making her way to the octagon. She has taken off her top shirt. She's wearing a maroon... Excuse me. She's wearing a maroon sports bra. Got a yellow mouthpiece. She's got kind of cornrows braided around her head. She's also wearing kind of shorty short red trunks that are kind of board short style. Do you know who Dan Blitzerian or whatever is? He's in the crowd wearing a goofy hat, sitting next to Donald Cowboy Cerrone. Dan, and then we got Michael Chiesa in the background as well. Whaley Zhuang is on an 18-fight win streak. She's got 10 first-round finishes, has finished 16 of 18 wins. That's pretty damn impressive. All right. And she is in the octagon, which is brought to you by SB Nation MMA, which includes websites like Bloody Elbow and MMAmania.com. Well, what happened to my pictures? I sure wish... Oh, look! Oh, look! Look at this! The website's back. UFC.com probably brought their fucking website back. Jeez, pull it together, UFC.com. You bunch of idiots. How... I don't understand how a company worth fucking $4 billion or whatever... Alright, so we can see the tail of the tape a little bit. Hey, if you haven't already, please give the video a thumbs up. I would really, really appreciate it. We need them. We need the thumbs up, my dudes. How many thumbs up do we got? We got to give at least 100 by this point. 33? Haha. Caleb Christensen says that UFC.com is probably personally oh my God, personally ran by Dana White. June, thank you for that. Mickey Gall said he was going to render Diego Sanchez unconscious in the first round. Well, that didn't happen. Sorry, Mickey. You got a goofy nickname, by the way, bud. Okay. All right, the Tiny Tornado Torres is in the octagon. She is ready for her fight against Whaley Zhuang. They are both 29 years old. Whaley Zhuang is 3 inches taller at 5'4". They both weighed in, the straw weight limit, and Whaley Zhuang will have a slight reach advantage. I gotta text my wife real fast. Okay, Bruce Buffer has the microphone. He's introducing Whaley Zhuang. This lady is a mixed martial artist with an 18-1 professional record. She stands 5 feet 4 inches tall, fighting out of, I think, Beijing, China. A -130 favorite, Whaley Zhuang. There we go. We can see the total strikes landed and shit. That'll help you out during this portion of the stream. And now Brucey, man, is introducing Tisha, the Tiny Tornado Torres. It should be noted, our referee in charge, Chris Tione. Brittany Palmer, our ring girl, blows us a kiss, which means we are about to get it on. All right, we are live. Both women are wearing a two-piece. Whaley Zhuang is in maroon sports bra with loose trunks, and the same exact outfit, but black, is on Tisha, the Tiny Tornado. They both have ankle wraps on. They're both fighting out of the orthodox stance. Zhuang lands an inside low kick, goes for it again and misses it. Torres was just out of the way. Spinning back kick, barely found the range from Zhuang. Torres is moving forward. She moved past the double stripe, kind of pushing Zhuang near the fence. Zhang's moving to her left. Now she's moving to her right, moving to her left again. Inside low kick, missed by Zhuang. Torres is keeping a really low center of gravity. She's got a wide stance. She's bouncing quite a bit back and forth. She's very agile. Torres eats an inside low kick on her lead leg. Zhuang goes for a push kick to the thigh, no dice. A side push kick, spinning back kick, no dice from Zhuang. Torres was out of the range. Torres bouncing inside of the range, outside of the range. Jab, move back. She moved back away from another inside low kick attempt from Zhuang. Zhuang comes forward with a double jab at a 2 behind it, did not land. Slashing downward elbow from Zhuang, no dice. Stepping side kick to the body, no dice. Inside low kick lands for Zhuang, and a right hand behind it did land on Torres from Zhuang. Big left hand landed on Torres from Zhuang. Inside low kick lands for Zhuang. Excuse me. In the octagon, I know that they said Zhuang has like a 3-inch height advantage. The size advantage seems pronounced. I mean, Torres has some big thighs because she's very muscular. Has a dense lower half, very strong. But the bigger fighter definitely seems to be Zhuang. As I say that, an inside low kick lands for Zhuang, and a left hand behind it lands for Zhuang. Torres comes with a knee, and she eats a left hand for her efforts. They get in on a clinch. Torres goes for a head and arm throw. They kind of scramble on the ground for a second. Torres tried for a guillotine. No dice, back to the feet as they break from the guillotine attempt from Torres. Torres landed a wide right hand on the face of Zhuang, but did not hurt her. Back to the center of the octagon, right on top of the MMA Mania logo. Ooh, spinning back kick, no dice from Zhuang. Zhuang had her hands kind of out like this, like you would expect. She's doing it right now. She's got her fingers straight forward. You would think the referee would say to not do that. Whatever. A spinning elbow attempt from Zhuang. did not find its range. It was actually too close. It went behind the back of Torres. Stepping push kick to the body, did not find its range from Zhang. We're right in the center of the cage, right on top of the MMA Mania logo. We're looking off into the distance to John Morgan from MMAJunkie.com wearing a blue shirt. Ooh! Spinning back kick to the body, missed from Zhang. Again, she was too close on it. She might have ate a right hand from Torres as she moved in close, and now we are clinched up against the fence. Joe Rogan thinks the right hand from Torres might have hurt Zhang. Zhang had an underhook on the right side, and Torres had the underhook on the other side. It was a 50-50, and Zhang kind of threw Torres down to her right, kind of threw her by her, and took the back of Torres. Now she has the body triangle, but it's kind of on the side of Torres. But right now, Zhang is on Torres's back as we are in the standing position. Torres has Zhang on her back, and then Zhang's back is on the fence. Zhang's trying to lock up the body triangle, but like I said, she's off to the right a little too much, and Torres is defending the arms really well. Excuse me, I'm a little dry-throated. Okay, we're still in the same position. You know, about a minute left to go in the round. Zhang's trying to... Okay, Zhang was trying to do the body triangle on the other side. She didn't get it, and she put her feet back on the canvas. And Torres is out of danger. As they break from the clinch again, Torres lands the right hand. Oh, it's Zhuang. Whaley Zhuang. I've been saying Zhang wrong. So Zhuang has... she's a little swollen on her right cheek from those couple of big right hands that Torres has landed. You know, Torres does not... I think she has one finish in her career. But her right hand has had a lot of pop behind it. Has been doing really well. So Zhang got in tight. They both tried for a head and arm throw. Torres was on top for a second, but Zhang just muscled her way, flipped Torres right back over. Now Zhang has side control on Tecia Torres, and that's how the round ends. As you can tell from the stats over there, a clear 10-9 in favor of Whaley Zhuang. Boom. We'll put that in. Also got to... say we're at round number 2. Awesome. How we doing, June? Okay, we're in Ticia's corner, and she says we got to shake her up with some strikes, okay? They're telling her that if she goes for the takedown attempt, try to land inside of the half guard of Zhang. In the replays, we're seeing a big left hook that landed for Zhang. Yeah, well, when they go for the takedowns, both women are going for the head and arm throw, and it was just the bigger, stronger fighter, who I think is Zhang in this matchup, that got it done both times. All right, round number 2, here we go. We meet in the center of the cage. Inside low kick lands for Zhang. Left body kick lands for Torres. All right, stepping like a stomp to the thigh, miss from Zhang. Inside low kick lands for Zhang. Ooh, spinning back fist lands for Zhang. All right, thanks, June. I was basically checking if I was doing all right, June. Thank you. Inside low kick lands for Zhang. As she was pressing forward, she landed that inside low kick, and then she backed away from a combination attack from Torres. We're in the center of the octagon. Zhang pressing forward with the jab, fingers open. She's like jabbing forward, like getting the range. But fingers are purely out, so I don't know. Joe Rogan's commenting on Zhang relying heavily on the spin kick. Dominic Cruz is saying right now that Zhang with her hands. Okay, finally the referee warned Zhang about the fingers coming toward the eyes of Torres, but I think there's probably a language barrier there. I don't know. Inside low kick lands, left hook lands for Zhuang. They both exchange right outside body kicks. Inside low kick lands for Zhuang. Both women landed left hooks in tight. Zhuang misses with an inside low kick, and then she missed with a jab straight, and then a left body kick combination. All of it missed. It was stepping like side kick to the body, landed for Zhuang. Torres come in with a combination, and she ate a left hook for her efforts as she moved in from Zhuang. Zhuang lands an inside low kick and then a push kick to the thigh. Switch kick to the body, missed from Zhuang. Zhang's feinting with the hips. Stepping push kick to the thigh lands for... Sorry, I got to check in on my wife. Left hook lands for Zhuang. Ooh, axe kick missed from Tisha, but fucking love the effort. That's pretty dope. Spinning back kick missed from Zhuang. Right there, the spinning back kick. Zhang had Torres moving like to Zhang's left, and it would have been right into the spinning attack. But as soon as she like started the spinning technique, Torres moved away from it. Torres just landed a 1-2 combination on Zhang, got in tight and was trying for a head and arm throw. Both women stayed on their feet. Zhang pressed Torres up against the fence. Torres has a double underhooks, and Zhang is trying for an inside trip with just the head and arm, and so Torres had her back against the fence trying to defend against the takedown that way. Zhang used her momentum against her, pulled her to the ground, and is now in half guard side control on Torres, and Torres is trying to get back to her feet, but Torres is eating a few ground and pound strikes. Zhang is using a whizzer here to great effect, and for... Dominic Cruz is explaining to us that why Whaley Zhuang just got put on her back is that she had a whizzer, which I thought she was doing a good job with, keeping Torres on the ground. Dominic Cruz said that Zhang stepped over the whizzer, and it allowed Torres to reverse the position, and now Torres is on top of Zhang. Torres is in the full guard. Zhang has her ankles crossed behind the butt of Torres, holding posture from Torres, so Torres can't land any good ground and pound. Zhang pushed Torres away from her there. Now she is back controlling the posture of Torres. Last time, so Zhang had the posture control of Torres, and then when Torres got out of that posture, Zhang started to hurt Torres with strikes from the bottom. As the round ends, Torres lands a solid right hand on Zhang. I think it's still... Okay, I think it's definitely 20-18 Whaley Zhuang. We got to copy this, and we're going to paste it. There you go. I think it's 20-18 Whaley Zhuang. Torres' corner is saying come with a double jab and then a right over the top. We're looking at the replay. A big right hand from Tecia Torres landed on the temple of Zhang. Another of them right on the... Ooh, two of them. Some big punches landed for Tecia Torres, but I think she's just at such a strike differential that I think you got to give the round to Whaley Zhuang. Untitled says Zhang is surprising him in this fight, and we are off running in round number 3. Oh, I forgot to do this. Whoop. There we go. Inside low kick lands for Zhang. Another attempt from Zhang missed. Side kick to the body. Landed for Torres. Outside low kick missed from Zhang. Torres is in a southpaw stance. Dominic Cruz is saying that Torres is doing a good job adapting to what Zhang is bringing at her. And I don't know if I noticed before. Okay, now Torres is back in the orthodox stance. Zhang moves forward with a combination. Oh, and she eats a couple of right hands for her efforts. Body kick lands for Torres. Big right hand landed for Zhang, and she might have Torres hurt up against the fence here. Well, we are in a clinch position, but the women both exchanged big strikes. I think a big right hand landed for Torres. As they break from the clinch, an elbow landed on the nose from Zhang on Torres. Zhuang. Or Whaley Zhuang, excuse me, John Anik. Thank you for the correction. Okay, we are in free space. We've got Torres fighting out of the southpaw stance right now. She is moving back into her left with her back close to the fence, kind of a la Tyron Woodley, who will fight in just a couple of bouts. Zhang moving forward on her. Zhang goes for a spinning back kick to the body, missed it, but then followed it up with a back fist on Torres. A right hand lands on Torres from Zhang, and she pushes Torres up against the fence. Zhang has we're in a 50-50 position with the clinch. A right elbow landed on Torres from Zhang. Right body kick on Torres lands for Zhang. A pretty fun fight. Inside low kick lands for Zhang. A fake with a jumping switch kick was Zhang. Zhang's got, she probably understood the referee. She's got her fist closed now, just kind of holding it out there in front of Torres. She went with Zhang just went with an inside low kick and then a high kick with the same leg, just bop bop. It was really beautiful. Zhang went with a big right hand, skipped in, got an inside trip takedown on Torres. It was beautiful. Right hand, kind of skip in, got her right leg on the inside of Torres' legs, grabbed her head, and just threw her to the ground. Zhang is trying to pass from half guard into full mount. So Zhang was searching for the mount, ends up in half guard on the other side. You know how I said earlier, what I said earlier about Torres? I was kind of surprised Torres was the underdog here. Well, as you can see the stats right over there, 118 to 21 strikes landed, 2 takedowns. Yeah, Zhang is dominating this fight. In between fights, I'll talk about who I'm going to be picking in the main and co-main event. I've also got some stories to tell about the competitors in those bouts. But right now, we're looking at Whaley Zhuang in the half guard of Tecia Torres. She's kind of rubbing her elbow into the temple of Torres. Kind of a 12-6 elbow just landed, or like a 6-9 elbow landed for Whaley Zhuang on the ground. Zhuang with a short elbow on the head of Tecia Torres. Zhuang is currently cruising her way to a decision. You know, I don't think she's going to be searching for the finish anytime soon. Kind of a slashing elbow, a couple of slashing right elbows on the head of Torres. Another one. And they're just very short elbows. I mean, it's going to really hurt Torres. She's not going to have fun at the bar later. She's going to be in a little bit of pain from those elbows, but for the next 34 or so seconds, I think she's going to be fine. She's going to be able to retain her consciousness. But Zhang is purely in charge. All right. So we are well on our way to a 30-27 decision in favor of Whaley Zhuang. I'll go ahead and put that there now. Good fight. It boiled down to kind of a dominance, but it was a really good performance from Whaley Zhuang. I like that we got kind of a, not a new contender, but a fairly unknown contender now in this strawweight division in Whaley Zhuang. I think it was nicely placed in the main card portion. Although, it was easily a down point on the main card in my eyes, this fight was. But I think there's going to be a lot of people tuned in to see Jon Jones fight Anthony Smith, also Tyron Woodley defend against Usman. So some eyes being on Whaley Zhuang here is pretty good. She might be a future challenger against Thug Rose Namajunas. I would like to see maybe Zhang versus Joanna Jędrzejczyk up next. Untitled Whaley Zhuang versus Nina Ansaroff. Fuck yeah, like that a lot. That's a good idea. Anyway, thanks, Matt Murgy. You're the best, bud. You are the best. You are the best. So Bruce Buffer's going to come in and say, after 3 rounds in the UFC strawweight division, we go to the judges' scorecards for decision. All 3 judges score the contest 30-27 for the winner by unanimous decision. Whaley, I don't know if she has a nickname, Zhuang. I didn't mean to do that. It was a girl voice. Namaste. And then she's going to talk to Joe Rogan a little bit. Let's talk about who I'm picking in the main event and the co-main event. Oh, we had a 29-28 and 2 30-27s. Tisha Torres had a look on her face that said she was surprised by there being 2 30-27s. Ah! One of Zhang's cornermen just ran up with the... Oh, it's a translator. Zhang is... I think she's probably showing respect through the translator to Tisha Torres. Zhang says to Tisha Torres that if she ever comes to Beijing, let's train together. And Torres says, I've never been to China, but thank you. Joe Rogan says, how happy are you with your performance tonight? And now, next I'll be talking for Whaley Zhuang. And then between fights, we'll talk about who I'm picking to win the title fights. I'm drinking Diet Coke tonight instead of beer because I got a brand new baby. He's my main focus. He's 1 week old yesterday. I'm tired, really tired, so caffeine. And also, after I'm done here, I got to take care of him a little bit, so I can't be drunk. Whaley Zhuang says it was her pleasure. This fight was her pleasure. Joe Rogan says, was there anything surprising about this fight? Next, I'll be talking for Zhang. Thanks, Boris. Sorry about the namaste comment, guys. I don't know. I apologize. Zhang says she's so pleased because she's one step closer to her goal, and that is to become the champion in the UFC. She says, thank you, everybody. I'm so happy to be here. I'm from China. My name is Whaley. Remember me. Thank you. Okay. All right. Next fight up. All right. Next up, we've got the UFC debut of funky Ben Askren. We've been looking forward to this guy entering the cage for a super long time. He is undefeated. Unfreaking defeated in mixed martial arts. I don't know why it doesn't say that here. But there we go. I'm sorry, the vaporgasm. I didn't mean to. I apologize. All right, let's get this proper. This is up next. All right, let's look at the odds too while we can. The odds have Funky Ben Askren at minus 260. The comeback on Ruthless Robbie Lawler plus 240. Over 2.5 rounds is minus 235, which means the comeback on under 2.5 rounds is plus 205. The fight goes to a decision is minus 205. Fight does not go to the judges is plus 165. Lawler via TKO or KO is plus 327. And Askren wins via decision is minus 160. So evidently and obviously we think that the biggest outcome of this fight is that Askren is going to win via decision. I got to update my results here. Okay. Now, I told you I had a story about somebody in the main event or the co-main event. When I was in college the first time, I went to college twice. I went to the University of Nebraska at Kearney. You might know that Ben Askren has been calling Kamaru Usman Marty from Nebraska. He actually did go by Marty when he was in college. And at a talent show at the Student Union, him and the eventual United States heavyweight representative in Greco-Roman or freestyle wrestling, Tervel Dlagnev, they competed in the talent show. They danced to Crank That Soldier Boy. What the hell? It was hilarious. They were really talented, but it was hilarious. And I never, ever thought that a guy who I watched dance to Crank That Soldier Boy would end up in the UFC in the main event spot fighting for the welterweight championship of the world. Who am I picking to win the main event? All right, let's talk about the co-main event first. Tyron the Chosen One Woodley will fight my Soldier Boy dancing friend. I have never actually met him. I just saw him dance at that talent show. And Tyron is minus 160. The comeback on Kamaru Marty Usman is plus 150. And even though Usman is, he looks a lot bigger than Woodley, actually. The taller, at least. Looks like he might cut a little more weight. But what I think is that Woodley is fighting a lesser version of himself, basically. Yes, Usman has fucking incredible wrestling. He was a national champion wrestler at the D2 level in Kearney, Nebraska for the University of Nebraska at Kearney Lopers, the Antilopers. And he's done really well with his wrestling so far in his mixed martial arts career. Of course, people sometimes call him boring because he's so good at controlling guys up against the fence, going for takedowns. And his wrestling really opens up his striking arsenal. But, I mean, come on. Woodley is just like Usman, except for Woodley wrestled and was an All-American wrestler for Missouri. So there's Division I right there. That's a step up. And also, Woodley has better striking. He had Elations Entertainment can't spell drunk or flunk without UNK. That's right. But Woodley has just as good a wrestling as Usman. You saw Woodley put his defensive wrestling to work against Damian Maia. We've seen Woodley use his wrestling to get wins like he did against Carlos Condit. Of course, Carlos does not have very good wrestling. Woodley took Wonder Boy down a couple of times and got him with some really good ground and pound. So I think, let's say the wrestling nullifies itself. Woodley has more power in his hands, and he has a more diverse striking attack, I think, than Usman. Sure, Usman like pours on pressure, and ordinarily his takedown attempts will really open up his striking. But what happens when, you know, they both have the same level of wrestling? They're going to cancel each other out. So I really think that yeah, I really think that Woodley's going to get the victory. And if you were a gambling person, I would say the best way to go would be to parlay Johnny Bones Jones and Tyron Woodley, and you could get that parlay in at, let's see, right now Jon Jones is minus 660 and Tyron Woodley is minus 160. You could parlay those two guys at minus 115, and I think that would be the best way to go. As funky Ben Askren makes his way to the cage, he is in the SB Nation MMA prep point, getting Vaseline put on his eyebrows. Ben Askren is unbeaten. He has 18 wins and 1 no contest. This is his UFC debut. He has 6 wins by knockout, 5 wins by submission, and he was a 2008 Olympian in freestyle wrestling. He is now inside of the octagon. Let's talk about the main event, and I want to tell you a story. I want to tell you a story about Anthony Lionheart Smith. It's not really a story, but he's from like the same place my wife is from. He's from Nebraska City, which is a very small place, you know, in Nebraska. It's just insane to me that this guy from my state, from a small town similar to me, I grew up in a town of 600 people. I don't know, Nebraska City probably has 2,000 people, and that's where he's from. So really, really small place. He said in a embedded video once that he, you know, growing up in high school, they used to just, what they did for fun was they'd go to a pasture and drink beer. That's exactly what I did in high school as well. Drank a lot of beer in pastures. That's fun. And also, Anthony Smith is sponsored by a cousin of mine who has like a health club thing in Omaha. They do massages and chiropractic type of things in Omaha, Nebraska, and they sponsor Anthony Smith, so that's kind of crazy. All right, guys. Ruthless Robbie Lawler is in the SB Nation prep point, brought to you by BloodyElbow.com and MMAmania.com. Please give the video a thumbs up. We need at least 150 thumbs up in order to be able to do these videos in the future. I can't promise that we're going to do these live play-by-plays in the future unless we get at least, at least like 250 thumbs up. So if you're here right now, you're watching, you appreciate what I'm doing for you guys, thumb the video up and subscribe to the channel. We need 7,600 subscribers by, I think by June. So thumb this video up, because I want to do these in the future. All right, Ruthless Robbie Lawler is inside of the octagon. He is wearing tight black trunks, looking like a savage that he is. God, he is a savage motherfucker, Ruthless Robbie Lawler is. Ooh. Joe Rogan is saying that Robbie Lawler is ramping up. He's ramping it up. Joe Rogan says, is Robbie Lawler going to be able to pull it off? We're about to find out. Man, Robbie Lawler is a savage motherfucker. All right, let's get this ready. See. All right, Bruce Buffer has the microphone. He's going to give us the introductions. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, a mixed martial artist with an undefeated professional record 18 wins and 1 no contest. He stands 5 feet 11 inches tall, weighing in at 170.5 pounds. Fighting out of Heartland, Wisconsin, he is a minus 280 favorite of Funky Ben Askren. Bruce Buffer always puts the nickname in the middle, so it'd be like Brian Flying J. He always does that. It's Funky Ben Askren. It just does not flow off the tongue to say Ben Funky Askren. Bruce, come on, buckaroo. Funky Ben Askren. Get with it, bud. There we go. Wow. I mean, these holy beans. I'm looking at the stats. I'm not even watching the fight yet. Our Brittany Palmer, our ring girl, she blows us a kiss and we're going to get started. I'm 45 seconds behind the real broadcast, I guess, so. All right, here we go. Round 1 we go. Ben Askren in on a takedown attempt. Robbie Lawler, oh my God! Robbie Lawler picked up Ben Askren and slammed him on his head, and now ruthless Robbie Lawler is ruthlessly getting Ben Askren with some ground and pound, and he has Ben Askren on his back. Elbow. Half guard, ruthless, woo! Whoa, Ben Askren was in on a takedown attempt. Robbie Lawler picked him up on his back like he was Lex Luthor, gave him the Laws of Jericho thing or whatever. I don't know, and then slammed him on like Ben Askren on his shoulder and his head, and was raining down some elbow ground and pound on Ben Askren. Ben gets an underhook on the left side and gets back to his feet. Woo! Knee to the body lands for ruthless Robbie. Ben Askren is bloody. My goodness. Uppercut lands for Robbie Lawler as he's moving back and away from the forward pressure of Ben Askren. Robbie's in the southpaw stance, of course. Askren in the orthodox stance. Askren keeps grabbing onto the lead hand of Robbie Lawler. Gets in tight. Has an underhook on the right side. Has an overhook on the right side. Ben Askren has double overhooks and is pressing Robbie Lawler up against the fence. Knee to the body lands for Robbie. Another knee to the body lands for Lawler. Knee to the body lands for Lawler. Ben Askren is still pressing Robbie Lawler up against the fence. Knee missed from Ben Askren. Knee to the body lands for Lawler. Ben Askren still pressing Robbie Lawler up against the fence with double overhooks. Robbie's framing away with a right elbow, which caused Askren to go for a left underhook, and now Askren tries to drop his level to grab an ankle or something. Doesn't get it. Back to the upright position, and Askren was landing a couple of short right hands on Robbie Lawler. Outside, what the hell? My stream just went plop, 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 plop. Right overhook for Askren. Kind of fought off by Lawler. Askren on a very low single leg attempt. Askren in on a double leg attempt. Lawler's doing a really good job sprawling, getting his hips low on top of the head of Askren. Askren has his hands clasped behind the butt of Lawler. He's searching for his left leg to go over the top of Lawler's and get the fight to the ground. He has Lawler on his butt. Lawler is on his butt. Ben Askren is pressing forward, trying to get Lawler to the canvas. Lawler gave up his back, and Ben Askren has Lawler's back. Lawler tried to go out the back door from a rear naked choke attempt of Ben Askren, and now Ben Askren has a bulldog choke on Lawler. Oh! Whoa. Ben Askren had a bulldog choke on the jaw of ruthless Robbie Lawler, was squeezing it pretty tight. Lawler, I don't think, tapped. And Herb Dean came and stopped the fight. Now there's gonna be some commotion. What? Lawler protested immediately, but he Joe Rogan is saying that him and the other commentators thought that Lawler was out. He might have been out. Okay. This is interesting. Okay, I'm watching the replay. I think Lawler might have tapped. Let's watch this. No, Lawler protested immediately. Herb Dean says, when Lawler protested, Herb Dean said, "Your arm went limp, dude." And Lawler was like, "Okay, fine." Gave him a slap on the hand, and I guess we go on our way. Let me tell you what was happening. There's a lot going on in my head right now. Okay, so Ben Askren has like the bulldog choke, and I think he has his forearm on the jaw of Robbie Lawler, and he's squeezing it. And as he's squeezing it, Lawler has his right hand over the top of the head of Ben Askren. After a little bit of squeezing from Ben Askren, Lawler's hand just falls limply to the floor. Herb Dean sees that, comes in, kind of touches Ruthless Robbie's arm, and he didn't have any fight in that arm, and Herb called it over. As soon as he did that, Robbie protested. The winner by bulldog choke, Funky Ben Askren. Wow, that was weird. I'm here with the winner, Ben Askren. Joe Rogan says, walk us through what you think happened at the end of the fight. Ben Askren says, how long do you think it's going to be until Dana White bitches about that stoppage? Because it's going to be quick. Ben Askren says that Herb Dean came in, touched his arm a couple of times, and said, "Robbie, are you okay?" And he didn't answer, and Askren was like, "Oh shit, he might actually be out." Ben Askren says, it kind of sucked that I had to fight Robbie Lawler first, because he's a really good fighter. I like him a lot, and you can boo if you want, but I'm not the referee, and I executed a game plan. The Funky Show ain't going anywhere. Joe Rogan asks if this is disappointing to you, or does it feel like a good victory? Ben Askren says, Herb asked him, "Are you okay? Are you okay?" And Lawler didn't answer or do anything about it, and that's what I saw. So, Dominic Cruz is saying, how could he have said he's okay when he's got his jaw in a bulldog choke like that? You can't talk at that moment. Joe Rogan says he's seen people go out from a choke similar to that. He's seen people go out. The question is, was Lawler out? And all three commentators say they don't think that Lawler was out. Weird. So the minus 220, Funky Ben Askren gets the victory. Wow, Zac Efron looks like a douchebag. Okay. I know. Somebody in the comments is going to say I look like a douchebag, and that's fine. I probably am. Okay, let's go. What's up next? Next, we've got the first of 2 title fights. Tyron, the chosen one Woodley, versus Kamaru Marty from Nebraska, the Nigerian Nightmare, Usman, for the UFC welterweight championship of the motherfucking world. False paradigm. Zac Efron douche? No way. Alright, guys, if you haven't already, please thumb the video up. We need at least 250 thumbs up on the video so we can do these in the future. The goal of SB Nation and myself, BloodyElbow.com, MMAmania.com, the goal is to do these for every single pay-per-view event, but we have to get the numbers, my friends. We have to get the numbers. I need 76,000 subscribers by June, and we need 250 thumbs up on this video. So next up, Don't Sleep on Broccoli says, let's go Mizzou. If you didn't know it, Tyron the Chosen One Woodley originally committed to wrestle for the Nebraska Cornhuskers. He verbally committed, decommitted, and then actually went to Missouri, the Tigers. So I'm a little bit angry at him for that because I'm from Nebraska, and obviously if you're from Nebraska, the Cornhuskers are your favorite team in all of sports. So there's that. The odds have Woodley as the favorite at -175. It's moved. We just saw it a little bit ago. He was -160. So in the last, since Askren started walking to the octagon to now, Woodley has gone from -160 to -175. And also I said that Ben Askren was -260. He closed at -280. And let's see. Ben Askren wins via submission. What was that line? Askren wins inside the distance, +470. Askren wins via submission, +685. Whoa. All right. Nick Phillips says Woodley is about to light Usman up. All right, guys. We need at least 70 more thumbs up. Who's going to step up and give them to us? We are probably going to watch a hype video before this fight actually happens. We're looking at the welterweight rankings. The champion is Tyron Woodley. Usman is the number 2 challenger. Of course, above him is Chaos Colby Covington. Below him is Darren Till and Stephen Thompson, who have both already had title shots and lost to Tyron Woodley. And Rafael Dos Anjos is down there. He, at number 5, he has already lost to both Colby Covington and Kamaru Usman. Kamaru. Who subscribed? Thank you for subscribing. You can surf one. Chris Pix 07, Comfy Dent, Robert Dozeman, William L, Sean Taylor, Blaine Hayes, or Reese, depends on if you're Portuguese or not. Thank you so much for subscribing. Pro Fighter says Askren won and his stock has skyrocketed. Anthony Pierce, thank you so much for subscribing. And of course, as I mentioned, we're watching a hype video for Tyron, the Chosen One Woodley, versus Kamaru Marty Usman. He's a training partner and good friend of Funky Ben Askren. Let's look and see how many finishes Usman has. Usman always says, I'm a problem. I'm a fucking problem for this division. Anybody that wants to fight me, I'm a problem. So, Usman has won 3 fights in a row via decision. Rafael Dos Anjos, Damian Maia, Emil Weber Mech. His finish, he's got 2 finishes in the UFC. He's got a knockout in the first round over Sergio Moraes. And he's got a triangle choke submission over Haider Hassan in his UFC debut back in 2015, where he won the Ultimate Fighter Season 21 welterweight tournament He also was awarded a Performance of the Night bonus. One of 2 times he's been awarded a Performance of the Night. Entering the octagon, you know what's crazy too? I watched Usman fight in his first ever professional mixed martial arts bout back in 2012 in Kearney, Nebraska. That is where I'm from. That's where I live. It's a great place to be. All right, here comes the co-main event of the evening. The first to walk out is going to be Kamaru Marty Usman. And if we don't get 250 likes right now, I'm shutting it down. Shutting it down. Money Mitch says, then shut it down, bitch. Thank you, Lundu, Leonard B, Vova Chamanet, VSILXNCE, Eddie Miranda, Caleb Christensen, 84 Dermy. Thank you all so very much for subscribing. Only 2 likes away. Just hit that thumb up. You can surf one. All right, Usman making his way to the cage. He's carrying the Nigerian flag on his back, and he's kind of doing a shoulder shimmy. He's going to be wearing green, shorty short, I just had puberty there, shorty short Muay Thai trunks. If you weren't here earlier, Andy says, I liked and subscribed, shrimp dick. Thanks, bud. How we doing, June? If you weren't here earlier, I told a story about Marty Usman. When I was in college at the University of Nebraska at Kearney, I was a freshman. I went to the student union to watch a talent show. Little did I know that at this talent show, the national champion wrestler, Marty Usman, and the heavyweight representative for the Lopers, who would eventually be the United States heavyweight representative in the Olympics, Tervel Delognev, danced to Crank That Soldier Boy. Crank That Soldier Boy. They were really good too. Patio Furniture says, who is this nonce? You must be Irish. Just subscribe, doucher. Thanks, buddy. Thanks, June. Can we all agree that Vapor should either stop complaining or leave? What's Vapor doing? Smokey Rockwell says Johnny Walker needs followers on Instagram. Johnny Walker is my new favorite fighter. I mean, he's like my favorite fighter of the moment. He's the flavor of the day kind of thing. My favorite fighters right now are, well, Anderson Silva forever and for always. That's why I got the yellow background. And Yoel, the Soldier of God Romero. I just love that a fight with him could end at a moment's notice. Marty Usman is on a 13-fight win streak. He has 6 wins via knockout, and he has the 4th highest takedown rate in UFC welterweight history at 4.47 takedowns landed per 15-minute fight. He is in the SB Nation MMA Prep Point, brought to you by BloodyElbow.com and MMAMania.com. Usman is doing a little bit of a prayer before he enters the octagon, and now he is in the octagon, which is brought to you by MMAMania.com, the greatest website in the fucking world. Tied with BloodyElbow.com. Usman's streak is about to end, says Israel Nash. Let's go Woodley, says Roy Garza. And now here comes the champion of the world, Tyron the chosen one, Woodley. Sometimes people have said that he is not an exciting fighter. He had a couple of snoozers. 2 in a row. The second fight with Stephen Thompson. And then the decision win over Damian Maia. But his last time out against Darren the Gorilla Till, he fucking dropped that boy. I'm talking about Till. I just dropped that kid with a right hand. A little bit of ground pound. Closed the show with a Darce choke. He had knockouts over Robbie Lawler, Dong Young Kim. He's got the knockout over Josh Koscheck was absolutely amazing. After he hurt him, dropped him back down to a squat, and then bammed him was just delightful to watch. I think that Tyron Woodley is a respectful human being. He's well spoken. He seems like a nice guy, basically outside of the cage, but in that cage he is a savage. He is a bad dude. Amazing wrestling. Gigantic power in his right hand. And I enjoy watching him fight. And he is now in the SB Nation MMA Prep Point, brought to you by SB Nation, which include SB Nation MMA, which includes BloodyElbow.com and MMA Mania also.com. Thank you, Stephen Basu. Caleb Christensen, you've been here for a while. I appreciate you, my dude. Vapor. I don't see Vapor. Baba Mustafa. Ben Askren won via bulldog choke. It was controversial. There was no tap. But as the choke was in, Herb Dean checked the arm. Lawler dropped the arm. It didn't seem like he was with it. As soon as Herb Dean called an end to the fight, Robbie Lawler protested the finish. Okay, here we go. We are about to go to the tail of the tape. Usman is 3 inches taller at 6 foot than Tyron Woodley, and he has a 2-inch reach advantage with 76-inch reach. Usman actually weighed in 1 pound below the welterweight title limit at 169 pounds. Bro, you look tired. That's what happens when you have a kid. You're never supposed to tell somebody they look tired, man. I'm saying I look like shit. I am very tired. Yes. Yes, I am tired, John. Our 3 judges scoring the contest octagon side are Mike Bell, Derek Clearley, and Dave Hagen. Our referee in charge of the action is Mark Goddard. And now, this fight is 5 rounds for the undisputed UFC welterweight championship of the world. That's what we're going to say. And it's brought to you by blah, blah, blah sponsorships. Oh, no. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, a freestyle fighter holding a professional record of 14 wins, 1 loss. He stands 6 feet tall, weighing in at 169 pounds. Fighting out of Dallas, Texas, by way of Nigeria. He is the number 2 welterweight contender in the world, a plus 145 underdog, the challenger, Kamaru, the Nigerian Nightmare Usman. And he walked all the way across the center of the octagon to get really close to Tyron Woodley, and the commission had to press him back. Marty from Nebraska. Oh, change settings to 5 rounds. Thanks, dude. Boom, ready for the 5-round fights. Championship time. Thank you for subscribing. Tinkerbell, Brian Ocha, The Tool Miser, Patrick Rowan, Peter Falk. I appreciate all of you very, very much. And now, the champion of the world of the welterweight division, Tyron, the chosen one, Woodley. All right, they are in the center of the cage. While we wait for the fight to start, give it a thumbs up. I truly, truly appreciate it. And also subscribe to the channel. We need 76,000 subscribers by June. If we could get there tonight, I'd probably get a pat on the back from my bosses. John Anik says it all comes down to this. Tyron Woodley, Kamaru Usman. One man leaves Las Vegas, the undisputed welterweight champion, says John Anik. And we are on. Tyron Woodley and the orthodox stance, wearing the tight black trunks, circling to his right. They did not touch gloves. Usman is wearing black compression shorts underneath of green short slitted Muay Thai trunks. Both guys are in the orthodox stance. The blue corner challenger, Usman, is moving forward. He's got a low stance. He's got his left hand kind of fingers poking out, leading in front of him. He's the one moving forward on Tyron Woodley. Usman is in on a single leg attempt, and Tyron Woodley locked in a guillotine attempt. Usman is pounding the body of Tyron Woodley, but Woodley has this guillotine attempt locked in pretty good. Usman pounding the body a little bit as Woodley keeps on the guillotine attempt. I think the guillotine attempt is gone. Woodley lost the right grip on the guillotine attempt, and now, wow, the wrestling of Usman has Woodley on the canvas, and Usman is elbowing the thigh of Tyron Woodley. I picked Woodley, Nick. I think Woodley via knockout. Thanks, Frank. Thanks, Tom. Okay. Usman is on top. He's trying to move the hips of Woodley away from the cage so he can keep this takedown, can keep him on the canvas. Woodley's back up to his feet a little bit, but he's really low. He's got himself propped up with a right hand on the canvas. Now he's on one knee up against the canvas, and Usman is pressing him up against the fence. Left knee to the body lands for Usman. Knee to the body, left knee to the body lands for Usman. Woodley's still trying pretty hard to get back to his feet, and he's up on his feet. The crowd claps. Okay, Woodley's got a right underhook, and he presses away from... Ooh, an up elbow lands for Usman, and a right knee to the body landed for Usman. We are in a 50-50 underhook, overhook position. We are moved away from the fence now. They're kind of walking their way to the center of the cage. They disengage. Usman's pressing forward. Front kick missed from Usman. Rear leg front kick. Usman's pressing forward. Woodley's moving back into his right. Dominic Cruz is commenting right now on Usman is always a little bit, so you know, normally guys they're square face to face from each other. Usman's standing just a little bit to the right, his right of Woodley, to kind of stay away from the big right hand power of Woodley. Usman came forward for a takedown attempt, and as he came forward, he got a jab and then got in on the takedown attempt entry. A 1-2 lands for Usman, and Usman is pressing Tyron Woodley up against the fence here. We got 50-50 overhook, underhook position. It's the left underhook for Usman, right overhook for him, of course. And Usman has Woodley pressed up against the fence. Both guys are landing short uppercuts, kind of short in the clinch to the body. A right knee to the body lands for Usman. A right hand lands to the body for Usman. Another one. Another one. Left knee to the body lands for Usman. Usman still has Woodley pressed up against the fence. Right knee to the body lands for Usman. Hammer fist to the thigh and a foot stomp lands for Usman. Usman's pressing forward. A right hand lands for Usman. Tyron Woodley in on a takedown attempt, warded off by Usman. Usman, a couple of right hands to the body, then goes in on a takedown attempt again on Woodley. Usman is pressing Woodley up against the fence. Round. Usman. Wow, that's pretty dominant round by Kamaru Marty Usman. Right? Wow. I am very surprised by this. We are in the corner of Tyron Woodley. Woodley's coach says you absolutely have to go forward. You cannot back up. Use your hand speed. And don't forget about that leg kick. But you got to go forward. Put down your forehead and go forward. You know what I'm saying? Let's go. His other coach says you got to look for combinations. Not just one big punch. We got to go for numbers. Wow. And the camera goes to Chaos Colby Covington. You know what's funny about like the welterweight division? The top 3 fighters, all wrestlers. Usman, Woodley, Covington. Round number 2, here we go. They meet in the center of the cage. They do not touch gloves. Woodley has his right hand up tight to his head. He's feinting with an uppercut. He feints with a couple of jabs. Usman's moving back and forth with his footwork. Front kick to the a rear leg front kick to the body, missed. Snap kick, missed. Usman feints with a takedown attempt. Outside low kick lands for Woodley, like his coach has called for. Usman came in with a double jab, got in tight, and we're in that same position, 50-50 overhook, underhook position. Right hands land to the body for Usman. Couple of more right hands to the body for Usman. Another right hand to the body for Usman. Right hammer fist to the thigh lands for Usman. Stomp to the left foot of Woodley lands for Usman. We're in the same position. The crowd's starting to not like it. Tyron Woodley was talking to Mark Goddard for a second, and Goddard says, "You gotta do something, man. It's on you to get out of this." I think is what he said. Big left hand lands for Usman, and Woodley might be hurt. Wow. Big takedown for Marty Usman. Usman might be mounting. Usman has Woodley mounted. Usman has Woodley full mounted. Oh my goodness. Usman is in the full mount on Tyron Woodley. Just short shoulder like strikes, hitting Woodley with his shoulder right now. Tyron, man, I don't know. We're not a lot's happening, but nothing's happening. And I'm kind of just looking at this screen in awe. Usman is dominating this fight. I mean, if the 2 minutes goes off the clock here, we're going to be looking at a 10-8 round in favor of Usman. Woodley has his legs like kind of grapevined out by Usman from the top position, and Usman's raining down some ground and pound from a short mount. Like, Usman's not posturing up. He's using his legs. He's got his legs like wound over the thighs and then inside of his shins, and got his feet locked over the front of the shin of Woodley so that Woodley can't do anything right now. And Usman's holding him there and hit him with some short ground and pound strikes. This level of dominance in the wrestling and grappling department is akin to how dominant Khabib Nurmagomedov is. I mean, my goodness. Okay, now Usman's posturing up, trying to rain down some ground and pound. Woodley was trying to get back to a half guard. Woodley was grabbing the posture of Usman, and Usman kind of shook him off and is once again in a good position to rain down some ground and pound on the champion, who he is dominating in Tyron Woodley. Mark Goddard thought about stopping the fight, or not stopping the fight, bringing the fight back to the feet because of how little Usman is doing from this top position. But as Goddard got closer, Usman started doing some damage again. But, you know, even though this is very dominant from the mount. Oh! Usman is going for a triangle attempt on Woodley. Arm triangle attempt from Usman on Woodley right now. Okay, Woodley's out of the triangle attempt. As he was fighting off the triangle attempt, then Usman started hitting Woodley to the body with a bunch of right hands. I don't have my setup made to give a 10-8 on my stream here, but if there was ever a 10-8 round, that was a 10-8 round, and I wish I could put it on my thing, on the stream, the overlay. My goodness, that was I am stunned. Kamaru Usman is dominating, thoroughly and utterly dominating the champion, the reigning, defending champion in Tyron Woodley right now. And we're in the corner of Woodley, and he looks exhausted. He looks a little bit dejected, and he kind of looks exhausted. He's got a cut over his right eye that they're fixing with some Vaseline right now. Henry Hooft is saying to Usman, look at him. He's still on his stool, man. He's tired. He's broken. Hooft and his team, Henry Hooft and Usman and all of those guys, they think that Woodley is broken. Here we go. They do not meet in the center of the cage. Usman walks all the way over and meets Woodley where his starting position was. They do not touch gloves. Both guys are in the orthodox stance, and Usman is the one that's pressing forward. Woodley wings a big right hand that misses. Usman smiles and comes forward on Woodley. Woodley is on his bicycle, moving to his right. Outside low kick lands for Woodley. He eats a left hook from Usman. A right straight landed on the guard of Usman. Usman once again is in tight against the fence on Woodley. Big right hands, gigantic right hands, huge right hands on the body of Woodley from Usman, on the ribs. He's just digging in with them. Wow, over and over and over and over and over again. My God, I bet he broke his ribs. Those were fucking vicious. We're in the same 50-50 guard, underhook, overhook, except for Usman, the longer, taller fighter, had his hands locked behind the back of Tyron Woodley. Dominic Cruz is mentioning how in these underhook, overhook positions, the height of Usman is just a real problem for Tyron Woodley. Same thing, right to the body, then a foot stomp lands for Usman. Knee to the thigh lands for Usman. This is a destruction. This is a... Wow. Oh, Mark Goddard stepped in and separated him and said, let's fight in the center. Okay. But Woodley's still backing up. Still backing up like he always does. But now he's not circling to his right as much. He's just backing straight up to the fence. Woodley, he touched the fence and he decided to circle to his right. But Usman, looking fresh as a daisy, cutting angles, cutting Woodley off, coming forward. Couple of wide swinging punches for Usman, miss. Woodley gets out of danger for a second, but he goes for a big overhand right. Usman steps right in, that same 50-50 guard, 50-50 position, the underhook, overhook. that we've been in this whole fight. And the right hand's landing to the body of Woodley from Usman. Shoulder strike lands for Usman. Knee to the body lands for Usman. Usman kind of pulls Woodley away from the fence and then just puts him right back on the fence. Now Woodley has his hands clasped behind the back of Usman. Foot stomp lands for Usman. Right to the body lands for Usman. Same 50-50 guard position up against the fence. Underhook, overhook. The left underhook for Usman. And then he's using his right hand to just destroy the body of Tyron Woodley. Right in that floating rib. Hey, that rib's got to be just dust by now. Woodley was talking a little bit, and Goddard says, hey, stay busy. Shoulder strike lands for Usman. Okay, Goddard steps in again. Woodley has his hands down. Woodley is dejected. He's tired. He's got his hands on his hips. And Usman, again, fresh as a fucking daisy, moving forward. A right hand lands for Woodley as Usman comes forward, and he kind of just played the matador, and Usman went past him. You'll never guess what position we're in right now. You'll never guess in a million years. They separate from it, and Usman hit him with a left elbow to the head. You'll never guess what position we're in right now. Same position. Left underhook for Usman, pressing Woodley's back up against the fence, landing rights to the body. And the crowd starts to boo. Joe Rogan says one glancing right hand is the best thing that Tyron Woodley has done. Joe Rogan says he's blown away by the performance of Usman so far. Tyron Woodley's corner says we are down 3-0. You gonna let this motherfucker do this to you? We've done work too hard for this. Way too hard for this. You need to fucking bite down your mouthpiece and start going through them right now. I'm serious. I'm not playing. Get some water. This is insane. This is insane. It's a fucking destruction. A destruction. Dean Thomas in the corner of Tyron Woodley says, you gotta fucking bout down in the mouthpiece and go. I think the last 2 rounds have been 10-8. Okay, here we go. Round 3. Or not, round 4. Dominic Cruz is saying that Tyron came into this fight sleeping. He's never woke up. And Joe Rogan's countering with the body shots are wearing on him. Guillotine attempt from Woodley. Did not get it, but he got himself on his back against the canvas, and now Usman. Usman has Woodley's ass and some of his back on the canvas. Some of his back's on the fence. Usman is looking to pull his upper back away from the fence. And Woodley's got his back on the fence now. He's got his ass on the floor, back on the fence, sitting upright, kind of staff pose up against the fence. Um, Nothing's happening, okay? I don't know what to tell you. Ordinarily, I'd fill these gaps with where's the momentum? Who has the momentum in this fight? Woodley is hardly trying to get back to his feet even. He looks tired. He looks dejected. He's looking off in the distance as he's eating right hands to the body over and over from Marty Usman. Mark Goddard is saying you need to work, and Joe Rogan's saying, why is he saying to work while he's working? Okay, now Woodley's back is flat on the canvas. His head is touching the fence, though. Usman is in the full guard position. He hit Woodley with an elbow. Woodley gets a burst of energy, gets his back to the fence. Just as he does that, Usman pulls him back away from the fence. Austin Cena says, I told y'all, Usman for the upset. This is... Other than getting knocked out in 13 seconds, like Jose Aldo did to Conor McGregor, and like Eddie Alvarez got just destroyed by Conor McGregor too, you know, I don't know if I've ever seen a champion get dominated like this. This just fucking dominated in a really long time. Goddard warns last time. Let's go, guys. Goddard brings the fight back to the feet. Usman looks surprised about it. So the fight's back on the feet. Usman is moving forward. They get in the clinch position, and Woodley's trying to unload with some right hands in the clinch. Knee to the body lands for Usman. Uppercut misses for Woodley. Usman is smiling as he's walking down Woodley. Uppercut lands for Usman. Uppercut lands for Usman. Another uppercut. Usman's starting to unload now. Left hook, right hook, uppercut. We are rock'em sock'em robots up against the fence, but it's only Usman who's landing. Usman is unloading on Tyron Woodley right now. Knee to the face lands for Woodley, but a right hand landed on Woodley from Usman. Usman with a right hand in tight. Usman's now opening up with the strikes. Woodley's got his hands kind of down. He's kind of just fighting for his life right now. Uppercut to the body, then an uppercut to the head lands for Usman. Uppercut missed from Usman, and then a kind of a down chopping a hammer fist from the standing position lands for Usman. Usman's in on the takedown now. Our wild exchange is over. Woodley has survived. Okay, now we're up against the fence. Woodley's got a right underhook, but he looks like he's just going to try to ride this out to the championship round. Knee to the body landed for Usman. Knee to the body lands for Usman. I mean, I'm sorry, I'm in a state of disbelief right now. This is shocking. It's truly shocking. What's on my mind right now is that it's been such a domination. You could almost say, why even send Woodley out for this 5th round? Of course, he could win via knockout. But as you can see on the stats, 196 to 81. This is a destruction, an annihilation. Kamaru, the Nigerian Nightmare Usman, is on his way to probably getting 3 10-8 rounds in a row on Tyron Woodley. Rounds 2, 3, 4. All 10-8 rounds in favor of Usman. Wow. Okay. Nigerian Nightmare moving forward. Woodley backing up like he does. Jab missed from Woodley. Jab lands for Usman. In on a single leg takedown is Usman. And Woodley's going for a guillotine. Woodley's got a guillotine attempt up against the fence when Usman was going for the takedown attempt. Usman might be biding his time, letting Woodley tire his arms out. As Woodley has a guillotine attempt and Usman is in on a takedown attempt, Goddard is saying, you guys got to work. Huh. Okay. Knee to the thigh lands for Usman. Stomp for Usman. Woodley still has his hands like wrapped around the neck of Usman. Woodley was holding on to the guillotine attempt. Usman brought him to this different side of the cage, got his legs to the side, picked him up and put him down, and landed in the half guard on the left side, keeping himself out of danger from the guillotine attempt. Usman might be working on a Von Flue choke because, and Joe Rogan just said that, Woodley has his left arm over the back of the head of Usman, and Usman is pressing his left shoulder down on the throat of the soon-to-be former champion. Wow. Henry Hooft is calling for shoulder pressure from Usman. Usman might seriously go for a Von Flue choke here. While there's this lull in the action right now, there's not really much for me to say that is going on. We got Usman in the half guard. He's got his left bicep kind of on the throat of Tyron Woodley. Woodley has his hand now off of the back of the neck of Usman and kind of got an underhook on the left side. But while I wait for more to happen, please give the video a thumbs up. I think we can probably get to 500. And also subscribe to the channel as Claudia Calestru, Hanad Ali, Cynthia Mims, Crazy Horse, Nathan Suarez, Griffin Lazaruk have done. I appreciate all of them people, and I appreciate everybody who's subscribed to the channel and giving the video a thumbs up. It means a lot to me. Usman is now short elbowing the head of Woodley. God, this is shocking. Could you imagine? Can you imagine if Anthony Smith beats Jon Jones next? Can you fathom that scenario? I think rounds 2 through 5 are 10-8 rounds in favor of Kamaru Usman. Wow, it's just, Woodley's trying to get back to his feet. He's on his butt, got his back on the SB Nation MMA logoed corner. Knee to the body lands for Usman as Woodley's sitting in staff pose up against the SB Nation MMA logo. Wow, okay. Woodley's back on a knee and a foot. He's got his left arm over the head of Usman. And that does it. New champion. Kamaru Usman is now the first ever, well, not officially yet, but he's the first ever African champion in the UFC. Let's just put this here, make it official. Usman is very emotional. He's in like, what is it, baby pose? I forget. It's one of my favorite poses in yoga. I think rounds 2, 3, 4, and 5, all 10-8 rounds in favor of Usman. Just look at those stats. Look at those stats. 238 to 84. Significant strikes, 194 to 40. And the dominance in the wrestling game. The utter and complete dominance in the wrestling attack. Those right hands to the body were fucking devastating. I'm sure that Tyron Woodley's got a broken rib. I've had so much caffeine because I'm tired. I feel like I'm having a heart attack. Usman is about to be 10-0 in the UFC. And Usman's daughter is now in the cage. He was brought in by Ali Abdelaziz. Wowzers. Usman is very emotional. I don't think Woodley's going to come stand. Woodley's coming to stand for the official decision. After 5 rounds, we go to the judges' scorecards for decision. (50-44). Usman's mom is in the octagon and she is fucking pumped. I think it's his mom. Joe Rogan says that was one of the most spectacular performances I've ever seen in my entire career of calling fights. Usman says, I'm going to be honest, I might not be the best striker in the world, but I might not be the best wrestler in the world. But when it comes to mixing that shit up, I'm the best fucking welterweight on the planet. Joe Rogan says there's no question about that now. The question coming in is how would you do against the best in the world? Look at those updated strikes, 336 to 60. Usman says, first of all, let's give it up for Tyron Woodley, y'all. This is a champion that has came in and has dominated. A lot of people hating this game. He said in this game, we've got a lot of fickle fans. One day they love you, one day they hate you. But when you talk about one of the greatest welterweights of all time, that guy's got to be in the conversation. Joe Rogan says, was there anything at all surprising about this? Usman says, this is what we work in our room. We got all kinds of bodies in our room. We got world champions in our room. There's so much knowledge in our room. These coaches back here, you got Greg Jones, one of the greatest wrestlers ever in college. You got Henry Holt, who's a striking wizard. He's thanking his coaches and all that shit. Wow, who else is stunned? Like Henry says, we keep it simple, stupid. Joe says it's an honor calling your fight. Usman says, I come from humble beginnings. I never dreamed I'd have a platform like this, to be on this stage one day. And when this girl came along, she lit a fire under me, Joe. She lit a fire under my ass. And I got going. And now here I am, baby. Daddy did it. He said that his daughter lit a fire under his ass, and now he did it, and he wants his daughter to remember this day for the rest of her life. Now Joe Rogan's with Tyron Woodley. Woodley says, sometimes you have those days in the octagon where it feels like a bad dream. You know, you want to throw punches, but you can't. Woodley says he has no excuses. He was prepared for this fight. Woodley says he wants to run it back with him. Joe Rogan thanks him. Wow. Wow, that was fucking insane, right, guys? Whoa. Let's look at what's next. Let's look at... My goodness. That was insane. Andres Vasquez says average punches landed per round. Usman, 67. Woodley, 12. Claudio Calistru says you won't get a rematch, that's for sure. What's next for Usman is absolutely going to be a fight with Chaos Colby Covington. I mean, there's really no other option. That's what we need to do. That's what needs to be done. But that was stunning. That was very surprising. I did not see that happening. Wow, I told all my friends to bet on a and still parlay. Didn't win. Yeah, that was crazy. Up next, we've got the widely regarded greatest mixed martial artist of all time, Johnny Bones Jones, defending his light heavyweight title against a kid from Nebraska City, Nebraska, and Anthony Lionheart Smith. The odds have Johnny Bones as a huge favorite. Minus 660 right now. The comeback on Anthony Smith is plus 540. We'll get to that fight in a moment. Right now, what I need from you guys is a thumbs up. I need them, I need them, I need them. I need them like food. I need them like water. We need the thumbs up on this video so we can do this more in the future. Share this on all of your favorite social media platforms. We are about to watch the main event of the evening, the main event of UFC 235, a card that has been really fucking good. The last fight wasn't that exciting, Usman versus Woodley, but gosh darn it, it was a sight to behold, right? That was shocking, surprising, very unexpected. And we're watching a video advertisement on a pay-per-view stream for a movie that I guarantee I'll never watch. You know how they often advertise like scary and like fucking, I don't know, action-packed movies on UFC streams? I'm never going to watch those things. Caleb Christensen says if Jones loses, the UFC is officially fake. Oh, Jesse Job says Smith is going to shock the fucking world. I'm paraphrasing. It's kind of what he said. Thank you for subscribing, Arturo Alfaro, Eves, Hippo, Delroy, Spartan McKee, Brad Palburn, JMA, Francisco Ibarra. Thank you all so much for subscribing. Means a lot to me. I think by the end of the night, we can get to 75,000 subscribers. What do you say, guys? We need 300-ish more subscribers. Can we get there? Please help me get there. Let's talk about this main event of the evening. I am picking against my fellow Nebraskan in Anthony Smith, because he's up against the most well-rounded mixed martial artist the sport has ever known. You know, if you talk about GOATs, or greatest of all time candidates, you talk about Fedor Emelianenko. He's pretty well-rounded. He's got some good judo, sambo background. Also, he's got really good strikes. You talk about Anderson the Spider Silva. He's got some really solid jiu-jitsu, sniper-like strikes in his prime. But Johnny Bones Jones, 85-inch reach, a background in wrestling, very diverse striking. He's flowy, he's calm, he's confident. Uses all of his the aspects of his game to his advantage. You know, he's a very intelligent fighter as well. I don't see how Anthony Smith gets by him other than a shocking knockout. And if that knockout happens, it'll be just crazy. Nazi SRB says, why do I have the results in the stream? I'm spoiling it. This is literally a results stream. If you clicked it, it is your fault for not understanding what you were clicking. It is not my fault. Yeah. Thank you, Israel Nash. So, Naironut says Jones versus Johnny Walker. I was hoping that Johnny Walker, in the post-fight interview after whooping the shit out of Misha Cirkunov, he would call for a title shot, or at least call for somebody at the high end of the rankings. He didn't do that. All right, we're listening to Dan Hardy break down Anthony Lionheart Smith. What's crazy about Anthony Smith is he was once in the UFC. He lost, and he got cut from the UFC. Now, he's in the UFC for the second time. He's on a 3-fight winning streak. I think it's 3. Over Mauricio Shogun Rua, Sugar Rashad Evans, and a rear naked choke over Volkan Oezdemir. And now he's going to get a title shot against one of the greatest of all time. What a story about this kid. Fun fact is that Jon Jones has never fought somebody younger than him. This is his 20th fight, and he's never fought somebody who is younger than he. Jon Jones says he's finished almost anybody he's hit on the ground. Anthony Smith says that Jon Jones is underestimating him, and that's absolutely going to eat at him when he loses to him. Jon Jones says he's been hearing that this guy's going to beat you for 10 years, and so far no one's been able to do it. And I don't think Anthony Smith's going to be the guy to do it. Anthony Smith says this fight's going to be Jon Jones flat on his back, wondering what happened. And, oh, I love it. He does it. Anthony Smith walking to the octagon to Mark Morrison, Return of the Mac. Oh, I'm on. Yeah. You better thumb up or I'm going to keep singing. If you thumb it up, I'll stop singing. Thank you for subscribing. Juris Janke, Thomas Nixon, Phil James 1, Naim Sketty, Grega Dinna, Ryan Shanklin, Stacy Waggle. I appreciate all of you. Here comes the kid from Nebraska, Anthony Lionheart Smith. He's from the home of Arbor Day. Have you heard of Arbor Day? Arbor Day originated in Nebraska City, Nebraska, the hometown of our challenger, Anthony Lionheart Smith. He's going to be wearing blue shorty shorts that are loose. Return of the Mac. Thank you for subscribing, John Stringer, Adam Stewart. Anthony Smith wearing glasses, making his way to the octagon, looking calm, cool, and collected. He was born in Corpus Christi, Texas. Man, Anthony Smith looks so calm right now. Who? Maybe it's the things you've done. Joe Rogan says the best move for Anthony Smith ever was moving up to light heavyweight. Looks like Anthony Smith's hugging his family members. And Anthony Smith is in the Flying Brian J Prep Point, brought to you by SB Nation MMA, which includes websites like MMAmania.com and BloodyElbow.com. All right, guys. Here we go. Do you think that Anthony Smith can get one of the biggest upsets in the history of the Ultimate Fighting Championships by knocking out the widely regarded greatest of all time, Johnny Bones Jones? Can it be done? Will it be done? We will find out very shortly. Anthony Smith is hugging his teammates. I'd never turn on me, she lied to me. But you do. Bald Moose. Woodley got freaking dominated, utterly dominated by the new champion, Kamaru Usman. Anthony Smith is undefeated at light heavyweight, all finishes. 17 first-round finishes, has finished 28 of 31 wins, 18 knockouts, 11 submissions. And now, Anthony Lionheart Smith, a plus 500 or so underdog. He's a 6-1 dog, is inside of the octagon. David Foyle says there's always a puncher's chance, and that's basically all that Anthony Smith has, is a puncher's chance. And now, about to make his way to the octagon, is the reigning, defending UFC light heavyweight champion of the world, Johnny Bones Jones. Let's listen in to his... He's walking out to We Are the Champions by Queen so far. I've done my sentence, but committed no crimes. Big Dan, DVIP, Jose Brillin, Joshua Talley, Flowbility, Old Teo, Quelper, Theory Palandesh. Thank you so much for subscribing. It means a lot to me. And I said that Anthony Smith looked confident, calm, cool, and collected. And Jon Jones is just loving this song right now, spinning around in the background. Woo, he says. Yeah. And now it turns into the champ is here. The champ is here. The champ is here. Oh, yeah, he says. Johnny Bones kind of got a quick walk to him, making his way to the octagon. Let's go over some odds as we wait for the fight to get started. Let's go over some prop bets. Over 1.5 rounds is minus 167. The comeback on under 1.5 rounds is plus 152. Fight goes to a decision is plus 525. Does not go to a decision, minus 860. Fight starts round 2, minus 241. Fight starts round 3, plus 135. So the odds makers think this thing is going to finish in round number 2. John via KO or TKO, minus 130. Anthony Smith via submission is plus 2270. Jones wins by submission is plus 185. What does the plus and minus mean, you ask? Okay, so if it is minus 150, that means you would have to spend $150 to win 100. So if you gave them 150 at minus 150 and it cashed, they would give you back 250 for a profit of 100. If it were plus 150, not minus 150, it would take $100 to win 150. So in that scenario, you give them 100 and they give you back 250 for a profit of 150. And so earlier we were talking about the odds, and Jon Jones was at minus 660. It's back to minus 750. He opened at minus 800, quickly went to minus 1200, was as high as minus 1375. So that means at one point you would have to bet $1,375 on Jon Jones to win $100. Yikes, that's big, big, big favorite. That's 13 to 14 to 1 as a favorite. Jon Jones hitting himself on the legs, on the chest, on the shoulders, but now he is in the SB Nation MMA Prep Point, which is brought to you by SB Nation MMA, which includes BloodyElbow.com and MMAmania.com. Jon Jones is the light heavyweight champion. He's got a 15-fight unbeaten streak, most wins 17, most finishes at 10, and most fight time in UFC light heavyweight history. All right, we need 200 more subscribers. Come on, guys. Please get us there. 200 more subscribers. It would mean a ton to me. Absolute ton to me. I'd be forever in your debt. My wife recently had a baby, and you could think of it as a way to congratulate me if you want. I would truly appreciate it. Also, thumb the video up. I see we're really close to 600. I think we can get it to 700. Jon Jones does the one-handed cartwheel in the center of the octagon, and he is now inside of that cage. Looking relaxed. We are about, Big D and VIP. Okay, Jon Jones is 1 year older at 31. They are both 6 foot 4 inches tall. They both weighed in at 205 pounds. And Jon has an 8-inch reach advantage, basically. 8.5, says John Anik. Okay, thanks, John Anik. Thank you, Destroy Martial Arts. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the moment UFC fans watching around the world have been waiting for. It is the main event of the evening, brought to you by MMAmania.com, the best motherfucking website in the history of time, tied with BloodyElbow.com. Our judges are Sal D'Amato, Junichiro Kumijo, and Chris Lee. Our referee in charge of the octagon is Herbus Dinas, the refereeus, who already had one flub this evening. Will he have another flub? We will see. Austin Cena is calling for another upset, in all caps too, by the way. Thank you for subscribing. Toddle just subscribed. You've been here for ages, man. Ricky Lopez, Brian McDonald, Raziel Muniz, Udazone, Scott Shannon, Eric Beasley. Thank you all so much for subscribing. Bruce Buffer has the microphone. He's about to introduce the blue corner. Let's just calm down for a second. Live from the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, Nevada. It's time! 5 rounds in the UFC light heavyweight division for the undisputed UFC light heavyweight championship of the world. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, a freestyle fighter, holding a professional record, 31 wins, 13 losses. He stands 6 foot 4 inches tall, weighing in at 204.5 pounds. Fighting out of Omaha, Nebraska, a plus 600 underdog, a guy from my wife's hometown, Anthony Lionheart Smith. Let's go, Anthony. I'll tell you what, I'm cheering for Anthony, but I don't think he's going to win. I really don't. Thank you, Ricky Suave Viva. Keru, thank you. Team Panda, 38 CFG. Dustin Cox, Killa, Grim Lolman. Thank you for subscribing. And now, introducing the champion, fighting out of the red corner, Johnny Bones Jones, with a professional record of 23 wins, 1 loss, 1 no contest, weighing standing 6'4" tall, weighing in at 205 pounds, fighting out of Albuquerque, New Mexico, the reigning, defending, undisputed, widely regarded greatest of all time, Jon Bones Jones. Yeah. Yeah. Edwin Algarin and Billboards Plus. Juan Buckney. Brooklyn, New York. Thank you for subscribing. Let's keep it clean. Touch gloves and let's do this. They do touch gloves. Let's get the clock ready, my friends. Jon Jones down on one knee. Anthony Smith prowling back and forth, looking at Jon Jones, moving his lip a lot, looking like a bad motherfucker. Jon Jones leans back, stretches his quads and his hip flexors, I'm guessing. And here we go. Fight. They meet in the center of the cage. They touch gloves. Anthony Smith has loose blue shorts on. They're shorty shorts. Jon Jones has tight black ones. Shorty shorts as well, wrestling trunks. Jon Jones is fighting out of the southpaw stance. Anthony Smith looks kind of nervous. Overhand left to right to left outside low kick lands for Smith. Smith's pumping his jab, switching stances. Jon Jones pawing that jab out there. Inside low kick lands for Smith. Jon still in the southpaw stance, switches to orthodox. Inside low kick lands for Smith. Overhand right misses for Jon. Looping left behind it misses for Jon Jones. They're touching lead hands. Jones in the southpaw stance, Smith in the orthodox stance. They're touching lead hands a bunch. Spinning back kick to the body lands for Jon Jones. Looks like Jon's got a lot of confidence. Outside low kick lands for Jones. Lead left hook just glances the chin for Jones on Smith. A jab to overhand right misses for Smith. Axe kick misses for Jones. Inside low kick lands for Smith. They're touching lead hands in the center of the octagon, right on top of the MMA Mania logo. Jon Jones calmly walking forward. Anthony Smith changing directions, moving back and forth. Overhand left missed for Jones. We circle back to the center of the cage. Straight right misses for Smith. Lead left hook misses for Smith. Jon Jones is picking up his tempo a little bit, moving forward. Spinning back kick to the body lands for Jones. Stomp to the thigh lands for Jones. Left high kick blocked. Smith blocked a left high kick for Jon Jones. Smith's now walking forward. Jones moving backward. Jones still in the southpaw stance. Smith, of course, in the orthodox stance. Jon kind of reached down to touch the left high kick landed for Anthony Smith. Jon ate it just fine and walked forward. He has a over underhook on Smith up against the fence. Same position as Usman was doing on Woodley. We got the left underhook for Jon Jones. Actually, both guys have left underhooks. And Jon is using his left shoulder to press Smith up against the fence. And Jon's also using Jones is using his right hand to control the wrist of Smith. Smith backs away from that, gets his wrist back, and then hits Jon with a downward elbow in the clinch. Knee to the body lands for Smith. Short elbow lands to the head a couple of times for Jones on Smith. All right, we are separated back to the center of the octagon. They're touching lead hands. Outside low kick lands for Smith. Center of the cage right now. Momentum purely on the side of Jon Jones. Stomp to the thigh, lands for Jones. Right now we're in the center of the cage. Momentum's on the side of Jon Jones. They're just kind of looking at each other, not doing a whole lot, not throwing power strikes. Anthony Smith has his mouth open a little bit. He looks nervous in his eyes. Jon throws a lead left hook that missed. Jon is now in the orthodox stance. Jones is trying to paw forward and grab the hands of Smith. As Smith comes forward with a left hook, Jones hit Smith with a side kick to the body. Jones stomped the lead thigh of Smith. Smith came back with a wide right, but Jones was out of range of it. Jones with a left high kick blocked from Smith. Stomp to the thigh, lands for Jones. Yeah, I'll get the stats. Sorry, Ray. Side kick to the body lands for Jones. Outside low kick lands for Jones. Oh, well, round one's clearly going to Johnny Bones. See, you asked me what was going on. I mean, there wasn't a whole lot going on, as you can see. But round one for Jon. Okay, the left high kick that Smith, I thought he landed, it didn't land. We're in the corner of Anthony Smith. They're saying when Jon Jones is in southpaw, he's coming only left side, or rear side. Smith's corner says he needs to stay up on that volume count. This is exactly what we thought would go on. We need you to stay up on the volume. Thank you, Chris Holiday. We need like 80 more subscribers and we'll be to 75,000. That would mean a lot to me. We're getting ready for round number 2. All right, here we go. They meet in the center of the octagon. They do not touch gloves. Smith comes out pumping the jab. Jones counters with a jab. Lead left hook from Jones. Both missed. Another left hook from Jones. Missed. Left hook attempt from Smith. Missed. Inside low kick lands for Jones. Left high kick. Well, it went to the body. Just the toes touched the body of Smith. Outside low kick lands for Jones. Ooh, big overhand right landed for Jones, but it did not affect Smith. And Smith landed his own right hand. Front kick to the face landed for Jones. Right hand lands for Smith. Okay, after a front kick landed to the face of Smith, Jones is now kind of on the hunt. Inside low kick lands for Jones. We are right along the double stripe. The kicks are landed for Jon Jones. A front kick to the face landed for Jones, then a stomp to the thigh landed for Jones. Smith smiled about it, but Jones is figuring Smith out. The touch low spinning back elbow just landed for Jon Jones. Smith has a left overhook on Jones, but Jones is pressing him up against the fence. Shoulder strike lands for Jones as Jones presses Smith up against the fence. Knee to the thigh lands for Jones. Like a heel strike lands to the thigh of Smith while Smith has his back on the fence. He's right in front of a corner that has SB Nation logo on it, sponsored by bloodyelbow.com. Excuse me. Jones has the left underhook while he's pressing Smith up against the fence. Knee to the thigh lands. They break the clinch. Jones in the southpaw stance keeps touching the lead hand of Smith. Anik and Rogan are calling for feints from Smith, and Jon Jones switches back to the orthodox stance. Lead left hook lands for Jones. A big right hand landed for Smith. Oh, uppercut to the body. Overhand right landed for Smith. Jones now in southpaw, pawing at the lead hand of Smith. Outside low kick lands for Jones. Jones with left straight that missed. Teep to the foot to the body, landed for Jones. Left high kick lands for Jones. Front kick to the body, landed for Smith. A shifting position and then a left straight landed for Smith. Right to the body landed for Smith. Smack dab in the center of the cage, right on top of the MMA Mania logo. Right kick to the body landed for Smith. Left high kick lands for Jon Jones. Smith still's got his wits about him. Inside low kick lands for Smith. Jones in the southpaw stance, left straight landed on the head of Anthony Smith. After it did, Smith backed all the way up to the fence, but Jones didn't follow him there. They're touching lead hands. Jones in the southpaw stance, Smith in the orthodox. This round is the momentum is in the favor of Jon Jones, of course. Outside low kick lands for Jones. Still from the southpaw stance. Okay, Jon Jones moving forward. Orthodox stance now. Overhand right misses for Smith. Lead left hook lands for Smith, but not very hard. Step into the thigh lands for Jones. 1-2 missed for Smith. Overhand right. Overhand light landed for both competitors. Stomp to the thigh lands for Jones. Roundhouse to the body landed for Smith. Joe Rogan just said that Smith's showing that he certainly belongs here. Outside low kick land is for Smith. Has been switching back and forth from orthodox to southpaw as well, but when he switches to southpaw, Jon pummels his lead leg. Left high kick landed for Jon Jones. A right to the body landed for Jon Jones. Front kick to the face missed from Jones. Jones is using his lead hand like a jab to the body, jab to the head, kind of going body, head, keeping Anthony Smith up against the fence. Outside low kick landed for Jones. Takedown attempt from Jones. Warded off by Anthony Smith, and now Smith's going for a takedown attempt. He had double underhooks, and we're done with that round. Okay, round number 2 again goes to Jon Jones. We're getting ready for round number 3. Okay, 2018 and still Jon Jones, but I think that Anthony Smith is holding his own pretty good. Anthony Smith's corner says, get that fucking lion heart, bite down on that mouthpiece, and let's go. Jones' corner says, add some sweeps and shoots. Add some sweeps and shoots. I'm guessing he's calling for takedowns. All right, we're ready for round number 3. Jon Jones has his finger 1 up. He's number 1. All right, round number 3, here we go. They meet in the center of the cage. They do not touch gloves. They're right on top of the MMA Mania logo. Jon Jones in the orthodox stance. Pulled away from a jab of Smith and then fires a right hand down the pipe. Barely touched Smith. No real power behind it. Well, there's power behind it, but it didn't land with significance. Right hand again, missed for Jones. Front kick to the face, missed for Jones. Front kick missed for Smith. Smith switches. No, Jon is in the southpaw stance. Jon's trying to grab the lead hand of Smith. Jon in on a takedown attempt. As Jon went in on this takedown attempt, he went in pretty hard on it. Smith was able to ward it off. Jon bounced it off the fence and went with a knee to the body, a pretty hard knee to the body on Smith. But Smith seems unaffected by it. I don't know how. Okay, now Jon has an underhook on the left side on Smith. No, it's an overhook. Smith has a right underhook, but Jon Jones is doing a good job with the wizard on that side, and he's kneeing Smith to the thigh. Jones drops down on a double leg attempt. Smith does a good job with his right underhook to ward off that attempt. But Jon The crowd is booing. Knee to the thigh. Lands for Jones as he's pressing Smith up against the fence. We are in the upright position. Smith has an overhook on the right that he just dug for, and he's trying to do something with it. But basically that tells you that Jon Jones has the left underhook. We're in the 50-50 overhook underhook position, this time with the left underhook for Jones. Smith's trying to change his level down a little bit to try to get himself out of this. Knees to the thigh. Both knees are to the left thigh are landing from Jones on Smith. Jones drops down. He's trying to clasp his hands behind the butt of Smith. Smith is working on a right underhook. No dice. Again, Jones can't get Smith to the canvas. Left knee to the thigh lands for Jones. He's still pressing Smith right up against the corner, right in front of the SB Nation MMA logo. Momentum solidly in favor of and still Jon Jones. Jones has 2-on-1 on the right wrist of Smith, and he's throwing left. He threw a couple of lefts to the body of Smith. There's another left to the body. He also threw one upstairs. He's got his right hand controlling the right wrist control of Smith, and with his left hand, he's punishing Smith to the body. A couple of shoulder strikes to the face of Smith from Jones. Jon got his hands clasped behind the butt of Smith. He's got him up. He's got him down. Toss him down. Now some ground and pounds coming from Jon Jones. Smith gives up his back. Now we're in a front headlock position for Jon Jones. Smith's now on his knees. Jones still has the front headlock position. Smith is doing a decent job. He's got 2-on-1 on the left wrist of Jon Jones. Jon has his chest on the upper shoulders of Anthony Smith. Smith's kind of he's on his hands and knees. No, he's on just his knees. Just on his knees. On his knees and his feet. He's got the wrist control on Jon's left wrist. And and Jon has his hand on the face of Smith. So, this is weird. But instead of fighting the hand that was on his mouth, Smith is staying 2-on-1 on the wrist of Jon Jones. Smith has now moved himself back to the cage. He still has 2-on-1 wrist control of Jon Jones, with Jon sprawled out with his weight on the shoulders of Anthony Smith. A couple of rights to the body land for Jones, while Smith is still staying with the wrist control on the left wrist of Jon Jones. A couple of knees to the lower leg land for Jon Jones. Knee to the body lands for Jones. Same position. I don't know what Smith's trying to do with the wrist control, but he's keeping himself out of danger right now. Maybe he's trying to survive to the end of the round. A couple of right hands to the butt area of Smith. Jones lands. He's still got his weight, his chest on the upper back of Anthony Smith. Okay, there's the round. Clearly 30-27 so far for Johnny Bones. Anthony Smith's corner says, we knew we'd have some adversity, yes. And Smith says, ha ha ha, yeah, we knew. Okay. Smith's corner says, if you don't get an offensive, you can't be offensive. If you don't get offensive, you can't be you. We've seen it all. If you impose your fucking will right now, you go win a fucking world title. Do you hear me? Get your goddamn reason why. Let's walk out of here with a belt. All right, we're entering championship rounds. Here we go. Rogan says he doesn't know what Smith could do differently to have any success in this fight. And Dominic Cruz says he's got to feint more. Thank you for subscribing. The great Nate Sublime, Riley Sale, Chinmoy Sarag, Nagi, Brett Mitchell, Bowen got kicked, Zachary Bell. We're in the center of the octagon right now. Jon Jones is in the southpaw stance. Anthony Smith in the orthodox stance. Left high kick blocked from Jones. Smith blocked it. Jones tried to come forward with a lead elbow a couple of times, and Smith's blocking him with his arms up high. A stepping in uppercut elbow for Jones was blocked from Smith, and Smith smiles at it, moves forward. Outside low kick lands for Smith. Left straight. Jon Jones is pressing forward. He's got Anthony Smith on the fence. Anthony Smith's covering his head like this. A lead left hook landed the body from Jon Jones. A jumping knee missed from Jones on Smith, and Smith's not doing a whole lot. Smith has a cut open on his nose now. Outside trip. Hey, that was an illegal kick. Outside trip from Jones dropped Anthony Smith. Smith's covering up. Jones looking to get in his guard. Okay, it wasn't an illegal strike because he kicked Smith's arm. It looked illegal, but he kicked his arm, not his head. Smith's kind of in like the fetal position. Jon Jones works his way to the back. We've got Anthony Smith in the fetal position. John's on his back. Left hammer fist is left hammer fist on the opposite side of Smith lands for Jones, and it's bloodied Smith up. Smith's kind of in he's in a ball on the ground. He's got Jon Jones on his back. He's eating a little bit of ground and pound here. Hammer fist lands for Jones. Smith's kind of posturing up, trying to get back to his feet, it looks like. And John's got his chest on the upper back of Smith again, controlling him on the ground. John Anik says Smith's donating a lot of blood at this point. Smith's back to his feet, but he's got John still draped on his back. Jones has his hands clasped together around the waist of Smith. He's probably going to try to drag him back to the canvas. John picks up Smith. Smith kind of grapevined his legs on Jones so he couldn't slam him too hard, and Jones just kind of put him forward back in the same position. Knee to the body lands for Jones. We got kind of a referee position in wrestling. Got John with his left knee behind the butt of Smith. He's got his left arm draped over the side of Smith, and he's just kind of controlling him there. Left hand to the face lands for Jones. Left elbow to the side of the head lands for Jones. Jones is going to start pouring on some ground and pound here. Okay, we got Anthony Smith up against the fence now, kind of on all fours, kind of in that ball position, referee position. Jones is on his back, and Jones is just big brothering him. Just manning him down. A couple of knees to the body land hard for Jon Jones, and the crowd reacts accordingly. Knee to the body lands for Jones. Knee to the body lands for Jones again. We've got Smith kind of turtled up against the fence on his butt, and Jon Jones standing on his feet, leaning over, controlling the wrists of Smith's trying to control wrists, and knees to the body are landed for Jones. Smith turtled up against the fence here. Oh, knee to the head. He was a downed opponent. Jon Jones just hit Anthony Smith with an illegal knee. Oh, I didn't start the timer. We're going to a replay to see if the knee was truly illegal. Anthony Smith is bloody. The doctor comes in, asks him how he's doing. He says, "I'm fine." Smith says he's fine. Your doctor says you're good, right? He says, "I'm good." Herb Dean's taking a point. Herb Dean has taken 2 points from Jon Jones. Ha! Anthony Smith's going to win a round. Herb Dean's asking somebody outside the fence if it was an illegal knee. You saw it on the replay, right? Herb Dean took 2 points away from Jon Jones. Okay. Huh. So potentially we have Anthony Smith winning that round 9-8 because 2 points were taken away from Jon Jones. That's weird. I don't know. I'm putting my score up as Jones won the round because he clearly won the round. I don't know as for the point taken away, but I'll make sure I get the time clock ready this time, guys. Anthony Smith's corner says, "You've seen it all, man. You got to work. You've seen everything. You can grapple with him. You can punch with him." Smith's corner says, "It's not about technique. You've seen it all. You got to go, baby." Huh. Herb Dean just said to Jon Jones, those techniques that could be fouls, leave them alone, please. Okay, here we go. I got the clock started this time. And we meet in the center of the cage. Jon Jones seems to have a lot of energy. They're both in the orthodox stance. Jon's pumping the jab out there. Rear hand uppercut lands for Jones. A couple of jabs land for Jones. Overhand right missed for Smith. Smith ate a right hand to the head. Jones going, well, a rear hand uppercut lands for Jones. Lead left hook lands for Jones. Couple of jabs, just gauge the distance. Left hook land for Smith. Okay, that was one strike. Yay, buddy. Outside low kick lands for Jones. Takedown attempt for Jones. Good sprawl from Smith. And we're back to the feet. Good takedown defense, Anthony. Couple of jabs, miss for Jones. A rear leg stomp to the thigh lands for Jones. The oblique kick. Outside low kick lands for Jones. Overhand right missed for Smith. We're smack dab in the center of the octagon right now. 4 minutes to go in the fight. Anthony Smith looks a little bit dejected. He's hanging his hands a little low. Jon Jones looks to be composed still. Outside low kick lands for Jones. I think that Jones I'd like to see him search for a finish, but I almost think he's going to cruise to a decision right here. Smith is backing away, kind of hiding behind his lead shoulder in the orthodox stance, and Jones steps forward with a stepping in jab. Step in elbow. Lands for Jon. We're in the clinch position up against the fence. Smith is 2-on-1, wrist control on Jon's left arm. And Jon is fighting to get those back. Okay, Jon has his own wrist back. Now he's 2-on-1 on the right arm of Smith. He uses his left hand to throw a uppercut to the body on Smith. Left hook to the thigh lands for Jon. Left hook to the thigh, left hook to the thigh. We're still right up against the fence. And Jon is controlling the wrist of Smith like he has controlled the entirety of this fight. Knee to the thigh lands for Jon. Okay, Smith got a right underhook, and his corner says you need to circle out of here. A couple of knees to the thigh from Jones. A couple of knees to the thigh land for Jones. But a couple more knees to the thigh land for Jones. A shoulder strike land for Jones. Knee to the thigh lands for Jones. Shoulder strike lands for Jones. Right hook to the body lands for Jones. Jones is still pressing Smith up against the fence. Knee to the thigh lands for Jones. Well, one at the left leg, one at the right leg. And again. Jones drops down on a trip single, but Smith is able to keep himself upright. Knee to the thigh lands for Jones. Knee to the thigh lands for Jones. Knee to the thigh lands for Jones. Thank you for subscribing, Mark, Fred, Barrett, Wes Buell, Ismail Alfredo, Jonas N., William Herpel, Brad Barch. Thank you for subscribing. I appreciate it. Jon Jones is still controlling Anthony Smith up against the fence. Smith is trying to regain control of his right arm, but Jon is controlling with his left arm. Shoulder and a left elbow to the face land for Jones. A shoulder strike lands for Jones. Jones is in on a double leg attempt. He's dropped down. He's got his hands clasped behind the butt of Smith. Smith was able to wiggle himself down, get an underhook, and get himself back to being upright, and Jon gives up on the takedown attempt. Dominic Cruz just said that Smith is doing enough here to survive and not do enough to win. He's not trying to win. He's trying to survive. Smith's corner is saying, you got to go. You got to go right now. You got to go. Stomps to the foot. Foot stomp, foot stomp, foot stomp, foot stomp. Total strikes on the screen. My screen says 202 for Jones and 36 for Smith. Jon Jones has landed 82 to 83% of his strikes so far tonight. Wow. Jon in on a single leg attempt. He tried to elevate. No dice. Smith extended his leg and is able to keep himself standing upright. Jones stepped back. Flying knee lands for Jones. 50-45 Jon Jones. 48-45 Jon Jones because of the point deduction. Thank you for subscribing, Trevor Howard, Sandy Atkiss, Tyron Marks, Buff Weed Guy, Beruz Amadi, David Park, Ethan West. Jon Jones cruised. You know what's crazy to me? And this is, I don't know. I'm not trying to discount the ability of Anthony Smith, but, you know, Jon Jones goes out there and finishes Daniel Cormier, but goes to a decision with Anthony Smith. I think that, you know, probably has a lot to do with Anthony Smith, you know, being really defensive and trying to survive and not going for the victory. You know, he was kind of in prevent mode, and you know, like if it was football, Anthony Smith was running the prevent defense to stop the long pass, and Jon Jones was just running the ball straight up the gut, pounding the rock. All right, the official decision is brought to you by SB Nation MMA, which includes Bloody Elbow and MMAmania.com. If you haven't already, please give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. It would mean a lot to me, and we can do more of these videos in the future. Bruce Buffer has the microphone. After 5 rounds, we go to the judges' scorecards for decision. All 3 judges score the contest. 48-44 for the winner by unanimous decision. And still, the undisputed UFC light heavyweight champion of the world, Johnny Bones Jones. All right. Joe Rogan's with Jon Jones. I'm here with the winner and still, ladies and gentlemen. John, you faced a man determined to survive. A guy who really did his best to stay in the fight to the end. Was there anything disappointing about this fight? Jon Jones, before he answers Joe's question, he says, I got to thank God for putting me in this position. Jones says this MMA thing is really hard. Some days you're going to look amazing. And some days you're not going to perform to the level you hold yourself to. Jones says hats off to Anthony Smith. Jon Jones says he hats off to Lionheart Smith. That's why he now knows why they call him Lionheart. He said, I've never had anybody talk back to me as I'm hitting him. He said I'd hit him, and then he says, oh, wow, is that all you got? That was a good one. Jon Jones says to Anthony Smith, it's been an honor to fight against you. You're a gentleman and a true inspiration. And he said it was nice not talking shit back and forth. Joe Rogan now. He says, John, after all you've been through, it seems like you're enjoying this more than ever now. And John says, you know, I'm getting familiar with what it's like to be a UFC fighter. I'm past a lot of the nerves, the overthinking things and underthinking things. I'm starting to become a real veteran, which is cool because I'm in my early 30s. That's it. That's Jon Jones. Jon Jones says he felt like Randy Couture tonight. It was a different style for him, but it seems like it was necessary. He said my strikes weren't affecting him at all. Joe Rogan asked Jon Jones what he wants next. And next I'll talk as Jon Jones. He says, right now I'm just going to enjoy this win. Go back to the drawing board and figure out ways to get better. There's a lot of young talent in the UFC. So many guys coming up. So many guys that are looking unbelievable. And that's just going to be a challenge in itself. Right now I'm not going to call out anybody. I'm just going to go home, take a shower, and enjoy my team. I'm so grateful for the team guys that I have in my life. I think behind every great man is a great woman. Shout out to my fiance. And beside a great man is other mighty men. I owe this win to them and my family. Hey, if you haven't already, please thumb the video up and subscribe to the channel. I think we're going to hear from Anthony Smith next. And Joe Rogan, I am here with Anthony Smith. Anthony. Joe Rogan's talking to Anthony Smith. One of the things that showed your character is when you took that illegal knee to the head, you said you were fine, and you continued. You could have taken that way out. He said, I know as anybody else, I could have sat there after the illegal knee and took the DQ win, but I want to win the title, not steal it. You know what I mean? Joe Rogan says, what was surprising about this fight? And Smith says, nothing really, honestly. It wasn't my night, honestly. Got to go back to the gym and watch it. Got to get better. He did a whole range of body attacks that would stop me on my way in. And honestly, man, I didn't do the things I was supposed to do. I wasn't offensive. Smith, humble in defeat. Joe Rogan says something right now is learning from these moments. Anthony Smith, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, that does it. I'm going to close down this stream, take a few moments, and then we'll come back with a post-fight show where I'll be joined by at least the Zane Simon from the 6-round post-fight show, and also he is an editor for bloodyelbow.com. This video has been brought to you by SB Nation MMA, which includes bloodyelbow.com and MMAmania.com. Those are the two best fucking websites in the world to get your mixed martial arts news from. If you don't believe me, check them out. They're absolutely phenomenal. Thank you all so much for being here. If you haven't already, thumb the video up, subscribe to the channel. It would mean an absolute ton to me, a fucking boatload. They'll keep me around if you guys thumb it up and subscribe, and we can do this for the next UFC pay-per-view, which is UFC 236, headlined by Israel Adesanya versus Kelvin on a mission for gold Gastelum for the interim title, and also the other interim title is I can't remember what the other title fight is. Oh yeah, Holloway versus Poirier is the headliner, and that is for the interim lightweight title. So I'll be back doing this for that pay-per-view if we get enough likes and subscribers on this video. For right now, I'm gonna bounce out, come back with that post-fight show. Thank you all so much for being here. Follow me on Twitter at FlyingBrianJ, on Facebook at FlyingBrianShow. Follow MMA Mania on Instagram at MMAmania.com with the DOT spelled out. And I'll be right back, guys. Thanks so much for being here. I appreciate you. Namaste.